What's up, my friends in film fandom, wherever you may be and however you may be watching? Thank you so much for giving us just a little bit of your time. Boy, is there a whole lot of stuff to go into tonight, and boy, do we have a whole lot of people here to talk about it. Not only do we have the normal crew of me, Jeremy, and Cora, but we're going to be joined by some special guests also. Maybe even another one later on tonight. We'll have to see. But boy, there is so much to go into about all this cool, fun news to talk about. And where do we start? But always with the Dowager Countess, Lady Cora. How are you tonight, ma'am?
I keep repeating to myself, I love my dog, I love my dog, I love my dog, because she's just pissing me off today. But, you know, puppies are puppies. You know, it's all good. Happy to be here.
And, of course, joined by my hetero life mate and his better half, Tin Septim, our resident gaming duo. What's going on to you, my friends?
Well, I've been better. I have a head cold, but besides that, I've been doing good. We also have
apparently have
a
Buttercup.
small with us. This is Buttercup.
The child is with you.
Well,
Yes.
don't talk too much. Jeez, dog.
We have the child.
Hello.
Don't steal the show, please.
She might. Okay. It's my turn to talk.
The dogs have a way of stealing the show on this on here without even being on camera. That's the funny part.
It's true. It's true.
Well, anyway, I'm doing fantastic, I guess. Jeez. Did you want to have an input? No? Okay.
Just whine. Just say things. Look at the camera.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, bark, bark. Bark, bark.
Go ahead and be the Eeyore of the group, why don't you, Jeremy?
Well, after seeing a trailer that I'm sure we will discuss in great detail, I kind of want to be in his position.
Keep it up, Jeremy. You'll get the Eeyore treatment from us.
I might thank you while you did it. Jesus.
Yeah, Eeyore didn't look like things went so well for him in that trailer we saw earlier. But here to talk about that and so much more with us is the Shape from the Lone Star State. My man Tex, what's up, brother?
Howdy, y'all. Welcome to the spooky season. August is gone. Let's get creepy. Let's do this shit. So
we're getting to the fall. It's that fun time of year that I think everybody kind of enjoys Halloween at some level or another, even if they act like they
Except
don't.
for Mariah Carey.
Yeah. So, okay.
Well, yeah. If you put a wig on that Myers mask, there's no denying who that is. I mean, it's obvious, you know. So
yeah, and also maybe later tonight, Aaron may be popping on. I don't know yet. He was kind of hoping to be on today, but he said maybe later, some work stuff. But anyway, he might end up popping on too to talk about all the other cool stuff we're talking about. But anyway, as I said, plenty of stuff to go into. Thank you to all of you, to those of you who have popped into the chat so far, which right now is basically Painted Pooh. What's up, Painted Pooh? How's it hang on, man?
Irony.
Yeah,
that's funny. That's fate right there, y'all. That's proof right there. This is supposed to happen.
I know this is going to be awesome, but we'll get to that here in just a minute. And let's go ahead and kick it off with our first story. Lady Cora, what is that tonight?
Well, Variety has learned Ben Kingsley is poised to reprise the role of Trevor Slattery in the upcoming Wonder Man series from Marvel Studios at Disney+. The show was first revealed to be in the works back in June and will focus on the Marvel character Simon Williams, a.k.a. Wonder Man. In the comics, Williams is the son of a wealthy industrialist whose company falls on hard times due to competition from none other Tony Stark's Stark Industries. Williams then accepts an offer from villain Baron Zemo that gives him ionic superpowers, including super strength and durability. After fighting the Avengers several times, Wonder Man ultimately joins their ranks. Also, according to a new deleted post on Disney Latino, Haley Steinfeld is referred to in an article of, quote, characters to know for Phase 6, end quote. Jeremy, what do you think of the characters potentially returning to the MCU?
I mean, when I saw the trailer, I was like, wait, was that Baron Zemo? Are we finally going to see what the hell he was doing? Or, you know, what hand he has in this? Although I'm still waiting for White Vision. But, you know what? Whatever, I'll take Baron Zemo.
Aren't we all waiting for him?
Yeah.
We are.
Everybody is waiting for him. I don't know. I think we saw the teaser trailer, and I was like, okay. I have no idea who this is, but okay. When I saw Wonder Man, I just like skimmed over it and I was like, does that sound like someone wanted to have? I'm like, Wonder Woman's DC.
That's the thought.
I was like, I think somebody needs to talk to someone here. Hold on.
Yeah, it's dangerously close.
You obviously
dangerously close.
Obviously, a lot of times you get a male and female equivalent of stuff. You got Superman, Supergirl. They had Hulk and She-Hulk now, which
we don't need to talk about.
We're not talking about. The internet is ripping that shit apart for me, so I just sit back and laugh at the memes. I did not watch today's episode if that didn't come across as apparent. I don't know. It's interesting. So this might help connect some more dots. Assuming this might be taking place after Falcon and Winter Soldier, maybe. I don't know. It seemed like it was an after thing because you saw like Tony Stark's helmet like in flames or some shit. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, Tex, I know you're into the Marvel stuff just the same as most people, at least at a casual level. What do you think of the idea of Ben Kingsley coming back and Haley Steinfeld coming back? Is this shocking to you at all after the events of Hawkeye?
I saw some of the Hawkeye. It was decent. I liked her character. She was cool, fine. I assumed they returned, whatever. But wasn't the Ben Kingsley the fake Mandarin though? Not even the real one.
Oh yeah, that weird shit.
Yeah, he was the fake Mandarin.
He was the front man.
So, okay, so what's the purpose in bringing him back? And thirdly, who the hell is Wonder Man? I've never.
That's what I said too.
That's also what I said.
I was like, who?
Right.
Next thing, there's going to be Wonder Baby, Wonder Dog, Wonder Kitty.
I mean, obviously, Ben Kingsley is a great actor. He's done a lot of cool stuff. He's a very recognizable face. But I mean, when he's the fake one. Okay, well, nobody cares about it. Well, as soon as I knew he wasn't the real thing, I was kind of done. You have no power. You're nobody. But the actor's a big name, so it's obviously a draw, and it's going to get a lot of attention. But I know I'm a comic nerd, obviously on the DC side, but I've never heard of Wonder Man. Maybe he's a new character. I don't know, but I mean. We'll see what happens with it. At this point, Marvel's so big, they can just throw anything out there and people will buy it because it says Marvel on the top of it. But,
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, let's go to Cora next. I mean, you being a little bit more of a casual fan than like me and Jeremy are, but you've caught up on all the MCU stuff, so you're as caught up on at least the MCU stuff as most anybody else could be. I mean, look, I've barely ever heard of Wonder Man.
Zero interest.
And as the character is described to me. I'm kind of like, is this? I mean, because they talk about one of the criticisms about Spider-Man is they kind of made him Iron Man light with the Iron Spider and all that. I disagree. I actually love the Iron Spider stuff, but it's like now we're really getting it sounds like a watered down version of an Iron Man kind of character without a special suit. Is he kind of like a weaker Iron Man Thor hybrid? Is he supposed to be some kind of a?
Or is he like kind of like a weird super soldier? Because he's somehow getting like some sort of powers, but not. I don't know.
Could they have picked a different name that doesn't sound like a ripoff of DC's Wonder Woman? I mean,
that's what I was wondering.
I mean,
other word.
I looked it up, and the first appearance of Wonder Man was in the comic, The Avengers #9. So I don't know about the timeline of that.
So he's just a minor character.
It was in the comic.
Okay.
It's pretty early in the
stretch.
Line,
it's almost like they have a list of, D-list characters from the comics that nobody knows the fuck who they are, but technically is in the lore, buried under 50 years of newspapers. Who can we pull out that can make a miniseries or a movie that will stand out and we can play the, hey, it's always been there, we're not making this shit up now card.
Yeah, we even said that with Iron Man. Like, who even thought Iron Man was going to be what he was? I mean, that's largely thanks to Robert Downey Jr., but like, however, or even Thor. Like, how do you make Thor cool, or like, how do you make Aquaman cool? It's like, well, you put Jason Momoa and Chris Hemsworth up there. It's like, well, I wouldn't fuck with those guys. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, remember one thing. Iron Man was not the biggest Marvel character in the world until that movie came out. And then all of a sudden, Iron Man was the greatest thing to happen since, whatever.
I am Iron Man.
And Marvel's done a really good job at casting the appropriate actor for what they want the character to be.
You want to say it.
And then
Kevin
putting the whole
Feige
thing together
we trust.
Look, they've done no wrong at this level. Like, seriously, I mean, I would I have liked to have seen some other people try to do some of these roles. Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see X person and X role sometimes, but I mean, I can't knock what they've done so far. I mean, especially with the casting.
But do you really want like this much. It seems like they're throwing out a fuckload of content. Like, I think they should be more focused and do less content that's like WandaVision quality instead of keep, piling on the shit we got to watch to keep up.
Is it going to make sense in context? Is what I'm.
Well, I don't worry about the storyline, the overall MCU making sense. I worry about hitting that level of like saturation. Because I mean, I understand doing a lot of TV stuff during when you couldn't exactly put things out in theaters or even produce theatrical films for a couple of years. That kind of made sense. But now we went from getting 2 to 3 Marvel properties a year in Phase 1. Now we're getting like 7. If you're talking about, you're getting like 3 or 4 movies, you're getting 3 or 4 Disney Plus shows.
Who has the time?
Yeah, I really think that they should slow down a bit. Not that I don't think these things are going to be awesome as they come out. I mean, most of this stuff's been fantastic. I mean, if my biggest problem with any of this stuff has been like, Falcon and Winter Soldier wasn't quite what I wanted it to be. Hawkeye was funny, but it wasn't quite what I wanted it to be. But I mean, even these things that didn't quite hit, for me, I still enjoyed. Just not as much as I enjoyed something like Captain America: The Winter Soldier or Black Panther.
Miss Marvel that I didn't watch.
I really enjoyed Miss Marvel. I thought that was
really
fun. That's my second favorite Disney Plus series behind WandaVision. Oh yeah,
I might actually watch it then.
I thought it was a lot of fun. And the ending was interesting for the future of the MCU.
I saw that head tilt.
Especially they finally dropped the M word, which is not a small thing. That's not a small thing at all. So, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't want to hit that saturation because this is my problem with Star Wars right now. We went how many years between Star Wars episodic films? It's like we got the original trilogy. We thought that was always going to be it. Then the prequels. And then we got the prequels and we're like, okay, that's probably always going to be it. And then we got Force Awakens. And I think that's one of the things that drove Force Awakens at the box office is that's the big Star Wars thing we thought we'd never get. Then we end up with Solo. Then we end up with Rogue One. And don't get me wrong, I like those things. But now it's like Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Ahsoka Tano's getting a series. And now we're getting inundated with Star Wars. Yeah. We're getting inundated with
be next.
Yeah, we're getting inundated with Star Wars stuff. And I'm afraid it's going to dilute the brand, and that brand is not one that I want to have affected like that. I appreciate the getting 1 or 2 big things every 4 or 5 years because that is special to me, and I want it to be slow rolled. I want it to be worked on. I want it to be crafted just right so that you're not giving me shit. Because one of the things that happen when you start churning out things one after another is the quality starts to decline. And I don't want the quality of these things to decline. And let's face it, granted, there's been some challenges. Pandemic kind of screwed with some things, and they're kind of rebuilding the MCU after the Infinity Saga and all that. But don't get too far too fast. Take your time, make it right. I would rather get 3 or 4 properties a year that are really, really good than to have 7 or 8 a year and have 2 of them not really meet where I want them to be, or heaven forbid, suck. Heaven forbid somebody should come out and bomb.
That's, I mean, on the other side of this aisle with Zaslav and, DC, what did he come out and say recently? He wanted event cinema. He wanted that big level stuff, not this middle of the road nonsense that comes and goes as quickly as anything else, and nobody really talks about it. So, I mean, Marvel overload's a real thing, but for as much money as Disney paid for it and makes off of it, they're not going to quit till it stops making money. So, if Wonder Man is a big hit, we'll see. I don't know, but
overload is definitely significant. But the thing to remember is, as long as it's getting critical and financial success, you can't really say it's overload because we're all going to see it and we're all loving it. As long as they're spitting out stuff that's getting 80+% on Rotten Tomatoes or is getting good reviews from all these people, then they're going to keep making it. It's when you get 2 or 3 that get shitty reviews and then maybe slip a little bit at the box office, that's when you start to worry. Marvel hasn't hit that yet, but I'm afraid when you just keep churning it out like mass producing Marvel stuff, that you're going to get to that kind of a thing.
Well, I have a question, Frank. So outside of WandaVision and Falcon Soldier Winter, I always say it wrong. If all of these miniseries had instead been made feature-length movies and were released traditionally, do you think they would have been better received?
You probably couldn't have told as much of a story.
It depends.
Could it be a movie?
I'm much happier that WandaVision was a series.
I'm saying I'm happy with that. I'm just thinking other smaller characters. Should Wonder Man be a movie?
mean, I don't know. Whatever. I mean, I personally, no, I don't think it should be a movie. I think a series is probably the best way to do it. Because you're talking about a character that like only hardcore comic book fans have ever heard of. It's like even other people had heard of Iron Man. Like Captain America was obviously tremendously popular. Thor, tremendously popular. Hulk, tremendously popular. They all had TV shows back in the 70s. Same thing with Spider-Man. Spider-Man had a TV show back in the 70s. Not to mention the other movie series that came out prior to this. So, I mean, so that was one thing. But I mean, if you're trying to build a character for some of these guys, and Wonder Man included, a series might be a better way to go. Because it's not like they can't make a 9 or 10 episode series and then pull them up into the cinematic stuff if they need them. You know what I mean?
I don't understand their decision-making process of what gets a movie and what gets a series. I don't know how they pick and choose.
That's a great question.
What they're going to do, because I've never heard of Wonder Man, but I've heard of She-Hulk before. I'm not super into comic book stuff, but I've seen most of the Marvel movies, and I don't understand why some of these are shows and some of these are movies, and what made you just decide to do them in which way.
Because wouldn't a series cost as much to produce as a movie? With that many hours of content?
No, well, maybe not. I mean, they've streamlined making TV shows pretty well, and Disney and Marvel, they're using those special sets now that are basically all giant green screens.
Yeah, those are cool.
The stuff that they're using for like the Mandalorian. They started using for the Mandalorian, and they've been using them for some other stuff too.
Texas Dream Home, every wall green.
Yeah, and then and now it's like they're trying to find ways to incorporate that into all their TV shows. So now you've made them dirt cheap. You're just reusing sets. So it's like maybe it's not as expensive as you go down the line. The first couple maybe, but it depends on the stories you're going to tell. It's
I've heard salary for the actors. I've
heard people say that they thought Black Widow would have worked better as a series. I don't know. I like Black Widow. I thought it was a good movie. I didn't need it. It didn't do much for the MCU overall that I know of yet. Anyway, I mean,
well, everybody was sad she died. Everybody wanted more of her.
Right.
And the best way to do it
but that's what I'm saying. It was awkwardly placed because I'm like, well, there's no tension because I know nothing happens to her.
Yeah. We know she dies.
I'm like, yeah, I know she's going to die eventually. I'm like, it filled in some gaps, as like when her and Cap were on the run and shit. But like, I didn't need to know how she got her fucking vest from her sister, but whatever.
It was cool to know.
Yeah,
that was cool to know. Yeah,
cool to know.
Like, I get it. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad these people. I'm glad these people are coming back. Look, Haley Steinfeld's the one that I'm interested in because she, even though Hawkeye didn't do very well, she was actually really well received. And I'm kind of excited about the concept of her coming back because there is a lot of buzz going around about a Young Avengers kind of thing. And I don't think they're going to do it, but I would still like to see her pop up. The question is, they said Phase 6. I'm like, look, we have to see what they have in Phase 6.
Wasn't the Young Avengers one of the names that was trademarked that they announced recently, the 3 or 4 names?
I don't remember, to be honest. There was a couple. I
remember
most of the ones
Thunderbolts.
Came out, I think. Yeah.
There was the 2 Avengers, and then there was one other one, but I can't remember what it was. I think I remember seeing it. Either way, I could see them doing that Young Avengers because that was a whole comic line in and of itself. They even made an animated movie about it. My kids had it some years ago. It was like Captain America and Black Widow's daughter and Hulk's son or something. I don't know what the hell it was, but it was one of those.
I thought they were doing that because we got like Wanda's kids now and whatnot, and I was like,
right. Yeah.
And then Ant-Man's daughter is supposed to be doing her own thing too, so I was like, we might have this here.
Probably Iron Man's daughter too.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as Trevor Slattery coming back, I mean, he's funny. He's good comic relief. I actually thought he worked really well in Shang-Chi. I mean, I liked that movie from start to finish. I thought it was great.
That was an awesome movie.
And incorporating him back in there, I thought was awesome.
Oh, the little fucking animal with the 6 legs.
The animal with the wings and the 6 legs.
Whatever that little creature was, she has a plushie of it already.
Because I loved it so much.
I have the same, I don't order merch, Rachel.
Yeah.
I got on the Disney site and I ordered one of those.
Yeah. I think you got it from me, didn't you?
I did because I immediately saw it and I'm like, oh my God, she's going to want that.
We were sitting in the movie theater and I'm like, I need that as a stuffed animal.
I already knew what it was going to be.
I had a feeling that Build-A-Bear was going to lose their shit when they got those in and people were freaking out. I mean, how many baby Yodas did they sell when they started marketing that shit?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested. I mean, the thing about Haley Steinfeld though is her star is only getting bigger, so she's going to get pricey. But you can find some other young stars to come in and do the Young Avengers stuff and keep the prices down. I kind of almost want to see it as a series. I think it'd be funner to see it that way.
Yeah.
And you
that
can
many characters, you want to like saturate a movie with that many characters. You want to spread that out a little bit. If you got like a whole team up of characters going on.
Yeah, I agree. But I don't know. Go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think about Trevor Slattery coming back in. I forget what it said he was coming back in. Did I draw a blank? Anyway, and him and Haley Seinfeld both coming back for their characters. I think it's a good thing. They can be used just right, especially Haley Seinfeld. I really, really like her. She's been in a lot of stuff. She's got a lot of great range. And I think she could be one of the people that kind of leads us into like phase 7 and on, because she could be around for a while. She's not even 30 yet. I think she's only like 27 or 28.
She could carry it through to phase 21.
Yeah, so she could. So she could carry this. She could be a part of carrying this thing for a while. I think it'd be interesting. We'll go down in the comments below. Let us know
babies, you know,
and let us know what you guys think about these people returning to the MCU. I'm all for it. Lady Cora, what's the next story we're going into tonight?
Well, a year after Eddie Murphy revived one of his classic roles in Coming to America, the actor is officially set to bring the world of Beverly Hills Cop back from the dead. Zola breakout star Taylor Page will join Murphy in the new film, as well as Super Pumped star Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Was he the one on Third Rock from the Sun?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. The Beverly Hills Cop franchise was initially a massive moneymaker as its first installment made over $300 million at the worldwide box office in 1984 and showed that audiences had a taste for R-rated entertainment and Murphy's brand of comedy. The follow-up films didn't fare nearly as well, and after the release of Beverly Hills Cop 3 in 1994, didn't yield an immediate sequel as expected. It looked like the franchise might have reached its conclusion. Frank, are you looking forward to another trip to Beverly Hills with Axel Foley? And by the way, that would be an excellent porn name. Just saying.
It's probably already out there, man. Rule 34.
Yeah.
Have we had this discussion already?
I was going to say, y'all doing
as soon
this
as
again?
as soon as something goes into production, there's probably a porn being made with somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm cautiously optimistic about this. Look, a lot of people didn't like the second movie. I think the second movie was one of the best sequels ever made.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't put it quite up there with Terminator 2 or Aliens or some of these things, but I mean, the first two Beverly Hills Cop movies are awesome 80s action, like at its best era of that kind of filmmaking. The third one was awful. It was just not good. I don't know why they bothered. It's like a couple of the actors from the originals weren't even in it. It seemed like even Eddie Murphy just kind of didn't want to be in this movie. It's honestly, even the tone of the filmmaking was like something that they had shot to play on like TBS or something like that. It just didn't look good. The only thing that saves that movie for me at all is the fact that they filmed it at Paramount's Great America, which is Jeremy knows what I'm talking about, Kings Island. That was the big amusement park where I grew up. They're all owned by the same people.
Mm-hmm.
So I had been to that amusement park a million times. But the third movie was just not good, and they've had trouble getting more projects off the ground. Eddie Murphy's been talking about a fourth movie for what seems 20 years now. They tried shooting a TV pilot that nobody wanted, that surrounded him and his son, who was a new detective, and that nobody picked that up. They just didn't think it was all that great. But he's had kind of a resurgence the last several years. I mean, he did that movie Mr. Church, which actually shows just how good of an actor he really is, because it's not the typical Eddie Murphy. He makes that goofy laugh and shoots at people and puts on all the makeup and plays 12 different characters. He acts the shit out of that movie, and he was really, really good in a dramatic role. And then he came out with Dolomite, which is kind of back to what made him famous, and it's still good. And that movie's awesome. It's funny. And Coming to America Part 2, the sequel to Coming to America, I still don't understand how they named that movie. It was funny.
It was decent, and it was fan pandering. Like, we wanted to see the follow-up.
Part of it is that it's really, really hard to follow up a movie that is that good. Like, I was talking with somebody about this earlier today. When you catch lightning in a bottle and then try to go back and do it again, the results are usually not good, because whatever made this special is not something tangible that you can like look at it, break it down, and redo it copy it over here. It just happens. You never plan to do something great usually, but I mean,
But to their
I don't
credit,
know. I'm on the fence.
They got all the amazing cast back.
Well, and that's the other thing is it just Eddie Murphy? Because part of the first two movies were really good was about the cast. And if Ronnie
Who was
Cox,
that really big tall guy that was on Night Court? He was great.
Richard Mole, the guy who played Bull.
Wasn't he in Beverly Hills Cops movies?
No.
Oh shit!
Oh, Judge Reinhold.
Yeah, Judge Reinhold was in it. He played Billy Rosewood. Ronnie Cox played Bogomil. I forget the name of the actor that played the other cop. But I mean, are those guys coming back? Because I mean, they're all still alive.
Yeah.
They're all still alive, so they could come in. Are you really going to try to get the band back together? I wouldn't mind seeing them do something like they've all retired except for maybe Axel, who's kind of getting towards the end, and they decide to get back together for like one mystery, one caper, one case that needs to be solved, and that kind of shows them passing the torch on. While they're doing this, they're kind of passing the torch along to the next generation, and then just letting the franchise end here. If you can make a good movie, let it end here. That's kind of what I hope for, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, you guys have seen it, Tex. I mean, do you think the idea of a fourth one is a good idea? I'm cautiously optimistic.
I didn't even know there was a third one. I've seen the first two, obviously. The first one's great.
That's my point.
You're not missing anything.
That movie's that
it's okay.
I mean,
okay.
obviously, the first one is tremendous. It's an 80s, like I said, it's an 80s classic. 2, okay, fine. I didn't even know there was a 3. Okay, whatever. At this point, I mean, it's like we've said on the last couple of shows. We're just pumping out old stuff. If it came from the 80s or 90s, let's do another one. We're gonna bring back the one star that's still relevant, and we'll have some Easter eggs of other things from the previous, entries into this saga, and we'll make our money and we'll go away. Eddie Murphy's always funny. Obviously, I mean, Shrek is his. Out of all his stuff, that's what I like the best out of any of them. But
I would agree with that.
I mean, will I watch it? I'll wait till Netflix. I'm not going to rush out to the theater and see it. Not going to lie, but I'd rather watch the first one than the fourth with old Eddie Murphy doing his best impression of Danny Glover saying, "I'm too old for this shit." But, hey, whatever. What are you going to do? So
they just casually cross paths with them two.
Well, that's the crossover.
Are they supposed to be getting another movie? So
yeah, a crossover to Lethal Weapon with Beverly Hills Cop. Then you've got my money. That's the one I'm willing to go see. Basically, throw in Die Hard too. Hey, get Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude Van Damme. Just throw them all in there.
We have that movie. It's called The Expendables.
Well, yeah.
And see, I like The Expendables. The Expendables 1 is a great movie. Yeah. I mean, you had Stone Cold Steve Austin as the villain. That was cool. Let's see more of that. But, Beverly Hills Cop.
You mean 4. It was Stone Cold?
It was Stone Cold. Well, it was Stone Cold until the end that he kind of melts, but I won't spoil that for anybody.
I did find out that Paul Reiser is also in it, and he played a detective in the second movie.
Yeah, he plays like one of the cops in Detroit he's one of Eddie Murphy's buddies.
Right.
Yeah, he's been seen on the set. So
he's getting the rub because he's been all over Stranger Things or whatever. He keeps himself relevant either way. You know what I mean? So.
Well, they came out with another season of Mad About You on Amazon too. I watched the first 3 or 4
I
episodes.
love that show when it came out.
Bad.
I did not like the new shit. Did not. They changed the apartment layout.
I thought the newer show was kind of funny. I used to watch.
How dare
they add a bathroom that was never there to begin with? Come on.
Maybe they moved. Maybe they moved to a different floor.
It was the same apartment. My OCD is like, hey, that's not right. There was no other bathroom there.
It'd be like if they changed the Friends apartment like halfway through. Like, wait a minute, what the hell?
Yeah.
They did change the numbers on the doors.
Messing with the continuity.
Yeah, they did change the numbers, and it's like we didn't think we'd notice, but we did. But
whatever.
Now, isn't this movie coming just to Netflix? Is this even going to to be in theaters?
I think we
saw
it.
I saw.
It's going to Netflix. Eddie Murphy's got an exclusivity deal for I think 3 or 4 projects with Netflix, and I heard that one of them was going to be a new stand-up special, which actually has me really excited.
That would be cool.
I heard they have 3 really good new ones out this month. As of sometime within September, all 3 of them will be out. So.
Yeah, Raw and Delirious is some of the best stand-up ever, ever, and it holds up now. Mm-hmm. So and I would love to see him get back. I mean, just an hour. It doesn't even have to be a big long thing. Give me 45 minutes or an hour of Eddie Murphy just going up there and talking for a while, doing the kind of stuff that Dave Chappelle does nowadays. Oh, yeah. I think that would murder. I think that would kill. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's got a lot. Look, I'm okay with it going to Netflix. Honestly, if you put this in theaters, it probably wouldn't do that good financially. Even if it ended up being really awesome, I mean, it probably wouldn't do all that great. So why not go ahead and look? Eddie Murphy's got his money from Netflix. He doesn't really need the back-end points anyway. So, I mean, yeah, whatever. Sign your deal with Netflix. Like, hopefully it's good. I really want it to be awesome because, like I said, the first two movies are some of my favorite movies of my childhood. Those are some of the first R-rated films I ever saw, and the jokes and the action, the jokes and the action were spot on for like his brand of comedy in the '80s was great. Third one again, train wreck, absolute dumpster fire, just was not good at all.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a third, so. A fourth is like, oh hell, okay.
Well, there's one of the things they did in the third one is they didn't make it rated R. They made it PG, and I was like, so you're neutering an R-rated comic and trying to sell this. I was like, and like everything about that movie was just wrong.
So it's a neutered movie.
Yeah, it didn't work at all.
That's not somebody with the comedic chops of Eddie Murphy. You don't want to neuter that shit. Don't censor him. Just let him do his thing.
I mean, look at Raw. He talks about taking it in the butt from Mr. T. I was like, you really want to put that guy?
Speaking of, I got a funny for you. I watch live streams of Las Vegas in the background on my TV when I'm working sometimes. And on Fremont Street, there's a regular street performer who rents one of those little circles who can get tips on Fremont Street. No shit. He's a black little person dressed up like Mr. T, and he does selfies with people. Like the chains are huge. This guy... Awesome. It was impressive. I'm gonna have to find a screenshot. It's fucking funny. Forgot all about Mr. T until yesterday.
So it's not Mr. T, it's Midget T. Is that who he is?
I didn't say that. You did, but it's catchy.
I was gonna say lowercase t, but all right.
Yeah, I was about to say Mr.
Lowercase
t. Sorry for the squirrel moment.
Yeah, I look. I'm whatever. I'm cautiously optimistic, but like I said, he's gone through a bit of a career resurgence, and if the story's good, and they bring back the extra cast, you don't have to make this the old cast the center. You can do like they did with what's the movie we just saw recently, where they kind of hand it all off. Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
If you make it like that, where it's more about this newer crop of characters, and the other ones are just kind of handing it off. I mean, that's a lot of what they did with Star Wars. That's kind of what this last trilogy was about. A lot of it was the exit of these three big people that we know of Han, Luke, and Leia, and slowly transitioning to this new group of characters. I thought that part, if nothing else, in the trilogy was actually handled very well. But I mean, you can have some fun with it. It's a comedy. You have to not be afraid to do his brand of comedy, though. And that's one of the things that they're really big on doing now, is trying to neuter everything because we don't want to offend. You got to let him go out there. I can't think of how many times he dropped like the F-bomb for homosexuals, like in a movie back in the 80s, and nobody cared. You can't really do that now because you're pissing people off. But I don't know. You can not say certain words but still let him do his R-rated thing. I don't want them to neuter him anymore. Let him be funny. Let him be the Eddie Murphy that we all learned to love. That's my guess. But anyway, go down in the comments below. Let us know what you guys think. The idea of a Beverly Hills Cop 4, is it something you'd be interested in, especially if you're an old guy like me with all this gray hair and you grew up watching all the
older than you.
And I tell you what, that opening sequence of the first Beverly Hills Cop, that truck chase, with them playing the Pointer Sisters Neutron Dance and all that, that is one of the best opening action sequences of the 80s, period. That's a fun sequence to watch. But
1 point goes to 80s tonight. Jeremy, you got to catch up. That's a good point.
I did say I watched Mad About You, so that was a nice
That counts.
There you go.
But so Lady Cora, what's the next topic we're going into tonight?
Well, speaking of comedy, Chris Rock, who was famously slapped by Oscar winner Will Smith during the 2022 Academy Awards, said during his comedy show that he was asked to host next year's Academy Awards ceremony but refused the invitation. Rock also said during his show Sunday at Arizona Financial Theater that he had been offered the chance to do a Super Bowl commercial but declined that as well. Tex, do you think Rock was right to turn down the offers?
Well, he's probably still got PTSD from getting his ass whooped at the Oscars and doesn't want to go back. It's probably why he's not going. But he's probably got, money. He's probably said, I would imagine. I don't know why you would turn down a Super Bowl commercial. I'd be kind of interested to see what the company that he was doing it for would be. Was it like Coke or Doritos or Pepsi or whatever? But
I see hot patch for your face.
Yeah, maybe like a football helmet, There you go. He can do a Super Bowl commercial about wearing a football helmet so you don't get your ass whooped. That's what he could do. But there's who cares about the Oscars? The ratings are crap anyways. Nobody watches them, so whatever. Now the Super Bowl commercial, that to me is more interesting, but I don't know. Maybe they wanted him to endorse like Depends or something. Who knows what at this point in time in life? But hey, he's probably got more money than God.
He wanted to make a joke about it, and he wasn't ready to joke about it.
Well, obviously, they want to play off the whole
Didn't he make a joke about it right afterwards or something, though? So why would a year later be a problem? You know what I mean?
He said something like the next show or something like, the next.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not. It might be more of a thing of like, I am claiming this to make fun of myself, but it's kind of like the whole thing. Like, if other people are doing it, I'm not cool with it. But I can do it because it happened to me. That might be what we're dealing with.
I don't think he wants to just write off of that because it's like, I'm just like, whatever, let's just fucking, it happened.
They should have Will Smith host him. They should have Will Smith host him, and then Chris Rock comes from backstage with a chair and like he's just right on top of the head.
And then the cage comes down.
Yeah, I mean, straight up ECW wrestling with a steel chair across the back of the head. Be like, that's what you did.
Could do it like they used to with the blue blazer back in the day. He just come down from the rafters right behind Will
Smith. That's what they need to do. Have like Will Smith come out there and be like, well, I'm doing this, as penance. I'm not being paid all of the money I would earn going to charity, blah, blah, blah. And then Chris Rock obliterates him on stage. It'd be great.
Well, we'll bring back Celebrity Deathmatch for real.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Celebrity Hunger Games.
Right.
I don't know. Grim, Ken, what do you guys think? I mean, the idea of him, would you want to do it?
Not if that was the only thing people were focused on, because let's be honest, like you said, and we've all said a million times, no one gives a shit about the Oscars. The only thing that anyone was even remotely talking about was that. So just overshadowed the whole thing, and like I said, I don't think he wants that to be the thing, or I don't know, maybe if he sees Will just like hiding in there like some sort of little swamp monster in the crowd, or he sees the shine off of Jada's head,
what did
come up on his flank.
Never mind. I didn't say.
Shine off of Jada's head.
Yeah, fuck her. I don't know Jada Smith, and I don't really care. So.
Well, see, one thing they could do, let's say Chris Rock wanted to come back and host. They could do like they do in bars and put chicken wire up in front of the stage, so if people throw beer bottles, they don't get through, right?
No,
so this way the stage is protected.
Just give him like a barrage of security guards.
I was like, maybe he should do what Chappelle did. They all jump that fucker and just beat his ass behind the stage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Those guardrails they use at metal shows that are reinforced people just bang into them. Use some of those, because then
that'd be hilarious.
He walks out on stage. Yeah, he'll walk out on stage for his monologue, surrounded by a bunch of guys dressed like Secret Service in the diamond formation, like the president. And he'll poke out from behind one of them, and just start looking around like this, making sure it's safe. Look,
that'd be hilarious.
There's a couple of things.
Get a Will Smith detector on his phone app.
Yeah.
Like an AirTag that's attached to Will Smith, so he knows what he's always close or not.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways that I look at this. It's like, number one, look, he's already said he doesn't want this to be what defines the rest of his career or his life, and I don't blame him. The whole thing was stupid anyway. I mean, you say what you want about his joke being tasteless. I mean, all accounts are that he didn't even know. And
tasteless. She's bald. What's wrong with it? I'm a bald dude. Make fun of me. Go ahead. I don't care.
It can be kind of different if you're a woman.
It's a medical condition.
It is great. Yeah.
It's also a little different if you're a woman.
I don't know.
A little bit.
Who was it I was watching? Oh, it was Preacher Lawson. He's like, well, because someone asked him what he thought about it. He's like, the point of comedy, to a point, is to offend. You can't be that sensitive about it all the time. You got to have
good comedy is humor. Absurd.
Yeah,
and we've tried to take the absurdity out of it because, segments of the population get offended easily. It's like, well,
he wasn't
like he wasn't. Then don't go to a comedy show.
He was like, I'm just kidding. Just chill.
People are offended too easily these days. Just go back to the previous topic where you're talking about Eddie Murphy, Raw, this, that, everything else. Chris Rock is a student of that kind of comedy. Why are you going to limit him if you want like an Eddie Murphy to go back? Why are you putting handcuffs on him? You know what I mean? Let him. If you're hiring Chris Rock, you know what you're getting. So don't. I mean,
that's really kind of a good point. I mean, if you want, say, offensive comedy, that's what you're going to get with those type of people. There are comedians who are less offensive. If you're really trying to abide by what may offend people and trying to avoid it, you could find somebody else. I mean, that exists. I mean, if that's what you want, but that's not. You have to expect what's coming.
That's the thing that I always say. I'm like, well, if you actually, speaking of a comedian, it was at one of Jeff Dunham's shows. Someone asked him like, "Oh, is your content family friendly?" And his answer was perfect. He's like, "Well, that depends on who your family is."
Yeah, very true.
I'm like, that is great, and I'm going to use that. I'm like, yeah, it's like if you don't like it, you don't have to watch it, right? I think that was again another one was George Carlin was talking about like was he a priest or something that was offended by something? He's like, hey, preacher, there's a little knob right there called the volume. Well, there's the one next to it called the on-off switch. I'm like,
that's the biggest problem with this world. Everything offends everybody, and it's only getting worse by the day.
You can't please everybody.
I mean, at what point do we say, okay, we're done with your little nerf down PC nonsensical horse crap? We can't say, dude, comedy's dead. We can't say words. You can't do this because that small sect over there is going to get pissed off and go on Twitter and bitch about it and make it look like 10,000 people when it's like 3. It's who cares? If you're offended, go somewhere else. Do your thing. It is what it is.
You don't have to.
We need to stop apologizing and start laughing.
Like every single person could have a problem with any one thing. So if we all start having that same mindset, I swear it started with Sonic. We're like, hey, we can bully a whole movie studio, guys. And then that stupid little snowball just kept going. We're like, wow, we can cancel everything.
I would argue that it started.
Don't you dare say Harambe. I'll smack you.
No, I was going to say it started on Tumblr. I think that's where it started. Early Tumblr.
Okay.
I was on early Tumblr.
Tumblr needs to cancel itself.
It already Yahoo did that for them.
Yeah.
But also one of the things as far as Chris Rock is concerned is who the fuck wants to host the Oscars anyway?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, who cares? Nobody watches.
I mean, we've talked about it's not about nobody watching. It's about 12 people watching, 12 million people watching doesn't matter. I mean, look at all the shit that Kevin Hart went through. And that he was going to host the Oscars, I think the last one actually, and everybody freaked out because of a tweet from fucking 200 years ago or whatever. And it's been like that for the last several years. And I think it was actually year before last.
Into the past so far, too.
Yeah, it was year before last. Now that I recall, but it's like who wants to put themselves through that? Who wants to say, okay, I'm going to go host the Oscars, and then have months and months and months of people just acting like assholes towards you for no reason? It just why would you
know? Unfortunately,
I mean, people just dig so far into the past for things. Like, you get your if you have Facebook, like you get your memories on Facebook. I pull those up. I see stuff I said 10 years ago, and I'm like, I'm deleting that because that was dumb. that was stupid. That was offensive to everybody. Like, why did I say that? Like,
I don't know.
People grow and change, and you can't take something from decades ago.
But people want to have a problem with you all the time. They want to pull one thing you did 20 years ago and be like,
that we all have humanity and we all make mistakes. Like, that's not.
No, not to them. They don't.
I don't understand how they hold themselves to this. Oh, I'm the knower of all. When
actually, didn't I just do that? I had that conversation with that guy about Andrew Tate, and then he was like saying, "Oh, it's just women and nerdy white boys who have this problem." And I was just done with this guy. I knew him from fucking years ago. Wasn't really friends with him, so it wasn't a loss. But I don't know why I didn't think to I swiped back in his profile pictures a little bit, and you look like the nerdiest and whitest fucking kid I've ever seen. I'm like, I almost grabbed his picture and commented again, like,
he had one of those, fuck are you? Which I have, so take that as what you will. But it's one of those hats with the big fluffy wolf hats with the ears with the big paws. He had one of those.
Oh yeah.
He had like the 2010
Granted-
emo straight hair swoop
Granted,
and the
I
glasses.
had one of those hats because I was a white emo girl in the early 2000s.
But I'm like, but you were gonna come at me and tell me that, and I'm like, dude, you from like 2012 look like a total twat. Don't come at me and say it's whiny little nerdy white boys. I'm like, aren't you that same thing?
Yeah, that's your demographic.
Okay, buddy.
Anyway,
I left it alone now. I don't know, whatever. I'm just saying it's dumb.
Yeah,
I'm just digging.
Yeah, but I agree with Tex. It's like, who the hell's even watching him anyway? And why would look? If I don't blame him for not wanting people to play off this thing. I mean, because the guy got embarrassed by somebody who he probably thought he was friends with.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's. I mean,
he was genuinely shocked.
I think they worked.
He was like,
didn't they work together on something at some point? I forget what. But he was in the iRobot. iRobot. Chris Rock was in iRobot, wasn't he?
No.
Wasn't he that one homeless guy? That wasn't him, was it? I could have swore they worked together in something.
No.
But I'm like,
it wasn't that.
Yeah, I'm like, why would
I can't think of anything they've ever done together.
I thought there was something early on in Chris Rock's career. I'm drawing a blank on it. I'd have to go look it up. But hey, it's like, why would Chris Rock want to go back there and let them play on that? It's just it seems exploitive.
Frank, I think your picture's frozen.
You're frozen.
Yeah, I know. My computer. I've had a lot going on my computer.
That's a great face. You're just sitting there like intensely staring like.
Well, I mean, let's be real. Who wants to go host an award show where somebody's going to win an award for being a professional liar and pretending to be somebody else, and then spend 2 minutes preaching about how much better they are than you and why you should do all the things that they believe? No, thanks. I'm good. So.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
they were both on the.
They were on Fresh Prince
in 95.
Now that song's going to be stuck in my head. Thank you.
Chris Rock was on Fresh Prince
in one episode.
Yeah.
Early in his career.
He was in drag.
It looks like he was in drag. It looks like he was in drag in the episode. I was just curious, so I looked.
Hey, you know what a really great show from the 90s was? It's called Fresh Prince.
What's that?
They were
One more for me.
Torrance Rises, which was a short film together.
Look, they're on stage together, and he isn't slapping them.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, that's an interesting.
Oh, that's true. They were
Chris Rock and Jada
Pinkett Smith were in Madagascar.
Madagascar.
That's right.
Huh.
Actually, I don't know how much they are friends with each other as well. But, yeah.
And then the last one was the slap. But yes,
yeah.
Essentially, they were in not much together.
Yeah,
but yeah. If I were Chris Rock, I wouldn't fuck with it either. Especially if you want to move past it all. Why would you? Especially only a year later. It's one thing if it's 4, 5, 6 years down the line and he's kind of gotten past it all, or maybe after him and Will have finally had some kind of a sit down and kind of like started to hash the whole thing out between the two of them personally. But it's like, why make hay? Why make ratings on this shit when it's still kind of fresh? You know what I mean?
Yeah, because why are we going
traumatic.
back to?
I mean, it has to still be traumatic.
Look, and if I'm the Oscars. Really? If I'm the Oscars, if I'm the Academy, I don't want to do it either. I don't know why they offered it to him because that's one of the dumbest things that has happened in a show that has been experiencing declining ratings for most of the last 2 decades. It's like nobody's watching. Nobody cares. Everybody just thinks it's all about these rich people getting together and patting themselves in the back anyway. Because the Oscars are not what they used to be. I used to love the Oscars when I was young and into my 20s.
When I was a kid, I would watch it.
Yeah, and now it's like I don't want to.
As a kid, I got I would dress up and I'd sit and eat popcorn. I got to stay up late and watch the Oscars.
Yeah, it's just not interesting anymore. So why? I mean. You're trying to build up viewership. Why would you want to go back to this thing that you would really be better off forgetting? That's my question.
now everyone's going to be watching and holding their breath.
Including negative, is good attention.
True. There's no such thing as bad press in Hollywood.
Exactly.
So. Yeah. But anyway, I don't know. What would you guys do? Go down the comments below and let us know. Do you think Chris Rock should play on this, or do you think it's just time to move past it? I personally think it's better for everybody if we just move past the whole damn thing, because the whole thing was just ugly. Didn't help the Academy. It didn't do anything for Chris Rock. Certainly isn't doing anything for Will Smith. I mean, he's got a lot of stuff been put on hold, been paused, a couple things canceled, banned for 10 years from even the ceremony. It hasn't worked out for anybody. So why would it doesn't make any sense to me to go back to it. But anyway, Those are just my thoughts on the whole thing. You guys get out of the comments and let us know what you guys think. Lady Cora, what's the next topic we're going into tonight?
Well, something we won't be moving past anytime soon.
I feel like I should have put the Matt Shakman thing ahead of this. Well, let's go. Let's go. Let's do
you
it.
Want to switch?
No, let's do it. We're here. Let's go.
All right. Buckle in for some bullshit. Poor Christopher Robin. Things don't appear to go well for him in the first trailer for the forthcoming horror film, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. The movie reimagines the beloved children's tale. That statement is just so wrong. As a slasher film in which both Pooh and Piglet appear to have turned against their childhood friend and Eeyore after he doesn't return to the 100-acre woods for a long period of time. Tex, what did you think of the first trailer for Blood and Honey?
Oh my God. First of all, that sad little whiny bitch Eeyore had it coming. He's been bitching about killing himself for like 80 years. Okay, and now that he's finally dead, everybody's losing their minds. God forbid that it finally happened. This is a good trailer. This is in the vein of like all of the Snow White horror ripoffs, the Hansel and Gretel's, so many other. Just look up B horror films. There is a ton of these things. This is just next down the line, and it happened to work out that, you know, the copyright was up, and
but
they jumped
Tigger.
on it.
Not for Tigger.
Well, no, because
Tigger's
that's
safe.
a Disney. Yeah. Well, see, that's the one thing I wanted to see Tigger like bouncing with like a chainsaw, killing
No.
people. That's what I was really hoping for.
A lot of fuck you,
But-
Tex, no.
It's funny.
But this movie will be cheaply made. It will be cheesy. It will be just all of my favorite things in a slasher movie. I love this.
I read somewhere, I don't know if it's true or not, that they made this movie in 10 days.
What?
Oh, I believe it.
You can
I believe
tell
it.
by
Yeah.
the trailer.
Yeah. Oh, I believe
No,
it. But
no.
see, that's the thing.
Not even
Yeah.
2 weeks?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is going to be a good movie.
No. If a
good
movie only
movie.
takes 10 days to make, it can't be a good movie.
Why?
I
It's
disagree.
Not
I disagree, especially for horror. I mean, look at you don't have to look. Yep,
I will say
look
that.
back about
Winnie the
20
Pooh
years.
is sacred, people. Winnie the
back
Pooh is fucking sacred. It was a theme of my baby nursery. It's heartwarming, child-loving, like literature.
We have
love
it
it.
signed by the man himself.
Well,
Right there.
Take that red marker and draw some blood all over Pooh's face, and you can have a custom Funko
I
from the
swear
movie.
Oh, don't forget the honey.
This is a
It's
pot-
blood
this is
and
a
honey,
pot
Tex. You got
Oh
to
yeah,
both.
put some honey on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look,
I'm team.
I'm-
This is a bad idea, but I'm gonna watch it for shits and giggles for the review. But it's a bad
This-
idea.
I'm just gonna watch it for shits. I'm not even gonna laugh.
There's a movie. Did y'all ever see The Strangers Pray at Night? It's another
No.
slasher movie.
I know of it.
The trailer feels a lot like that movie, and what's the other one I was thinking of? You're Next is another slasher film that came out some years ago. It's actually pretty good, but no, this will be it. It'll be a good B film. It'll be like a
How about a D
Sharknado
film? How about let's just knock it down to D?
Sharknado's different.
Okay, maybe not
It's-
quite
it's
that
different.
far.
It's different, but I'm saying it's in the same vein as that kind of film. It's going to be one that it's going to be cult status for a long time. I can't wait.
I have notes. I wrote down notes today.
Let's
Oh,
hear
that was
it
one
of
before
them.
Rachel explains to us how it's going to ruin Winnie the Pooh lore.
Go ahead, power couple. Let us have it.
All right.
That's the whole reason I'm here.
I know. All right. You know what? My first point, and I will open this up to you two fuckers.
You do know this isn't a presidential debate, right?
No, it's fine. It doesn't have
You don't
to
need
be.
Taking it
teleprompters.
seriously like one.
Eeyore.
No. I just want to put this out there for anybody in the chat who I just saw explode the shit out of the comments. So you're all listening too. If you've seen the trailer, which I assume you have,
Of course.
just replay the trailer in your head a little bit. Now, we didn't really see Piglet a whole lot. He pushed some bitch into a pool, whatever. Replace Winnie the Pooh with any other killer. Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, you would not know that this
Random
is anything
generic
else.
Slasher.
Yes, there's nothing about this that makes it special. Other
So
than
we're
the
just
fact
supposed
that
to
it's Winnie
pretend
the
like this
Pooh.
is Michael Myers with a Winnie the Pooh mask on?
No, I'm saying like if you saw this trailer,
I would
you
go
saw the
see that
trailer.
movie.
I'm just saying, replace Winnie the Pooh with Michael Myers in the trailer, doing the same things. You would think it's a Halloween movie. You would think it's the next Friday the 13th. There's nothing that separates it from something we haven't already seen.
Well,
the
if
thing
they
is,
play
it's
Winnie
Friday
the Pooh
and
music,
Halloween are all iconic.
It's
yeah, I don't know about this. We'll see. We'll see.
There's a million other films that are in that mold that aren't very different. Is more so, I think. The point.
I think
There's one thing. There's one thing that can make it different. If Pooh kills somebody in this movie, let's say he takes that axe and whacks Christopher Robin's head off and
Well,
goes,
in the
"Oh,
trailer,
bother!"
he cuts someone.
As he does it,
Fair.
well, that's what I'm saying. But
he did golf swing
has to
somebody's
say
head
that.
off their shoulders. I don't know what that was.
That's what I'm saying. He has to kill somebody and go, "Oh, bother!"
Okay,
like
that's
he does in the
okay,
cartoon.
okay.
That
That
would be
brings us
amazing.
to our
That
next
is my next point. Thank you, Tex, for the segue. Actually, that's not really my next point,
Well,
but it's
it
going
can
to
be
be.
my next point.
Yes.
Give me a chance here.
So
my point is that okay, so it's obviously Winnie the Pooh and Piglet,
is it
human
though?
beings wearing masks.
Why are they big,
Right.
by the way?
What were they when Christopher Robin was a child? Were
See,
they
thank
also
you.
children?
I
Rachel,
actually have
you
that
What
said-
question
were
too.
they?
I'm glad you
Because
said
if they
this.
were children, and also in the same vein, so I looked at some of the comments on the trailer, which are annoyingly positive. And a lot of the
yeah,
comments,
we're the minority, Rachel.
Right, I know.
I know.
And a lot of the comments are like, "This follows the book so closely."
Actually, you know,
And,
What?
she brought
I don't know
material.
about all that.
No.
Oh, look at that. She brought
I've
homework.
read them
people.
all,
That's
and
great.
you are wrong.
Even
You
if they're
are
just being
just
ironic
wrong.
trolls, I'm like, you're still
For one.
You're still wrong.
Also,
It's actually kinda cool.
again, like they are stuffed. The original story, everyone knows, stuffed animals.
A.A. Mills rolling in his
Yeah.
fucking grave right now. Just gonna tell you that.
They were stuffed animals
He's been in that grave
this
a while.
Christopher Robin had, and he had this made up world with them in the 100-acre woods. And he did go away to school and couldn't spend as much time with them anymore. And I get
And
that
then
that's
we-
where they're trying to pick this
And
up.
then we got the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie, and it was fine. That's a logical
However-
progression. We're good.
However, so in this we're seeing that Winnie the Pooh and co were real, and they were human beings in masks and not a figment of Christopher Robin's
And
imagination.
they weren't pedophiles, luring Christopher Robin into the woods at all.
Right. They were
Actually, they
assumably-
seem like adults, and he's like maybe in his early 20s.
Well, he's in his early 20s, is still an adult, contrary.
But see,
to
here's
how
the
But
thing,
they
though.
look like,
But the characters in this movie, they're 20-year-olds, and these
the
look
guy
like
playing Winnie the
full-grown,
Pooh looks
big.
like fucking Kane Hodder. He's a big motherfucker. Like, there's no way.
Fair.
But
I'm just saying,
if you
they're
freeze frame on
humans.
Pooh, look at his hands. His hands are the same yellow color of the face. I'm not sure that that's not Winnie the Pooh just wearing clothes. He wears a shirt in those very books that you're holding, and in that
Yes.
Funko Pop.
Where
He
are
doesn't
his pants?
show it's
Where are
not.
his pants?
He doesn't
wear
wear
pants.
coveralls and a fucking check.
Well,
but Rachel, to be fair, in this
Shoes.
movie, he doesn't wear pants either. He's wearing overalls. Those are a hybrid.
He's wearing pants because he doesn't want to be a sex offender and get arrested. So that's why he puts some pants
Why
on.
not?
That's
Why
all
But he's
different.
not a bear.
But-
He's not a bear.
That's
because
what I'm
bears
saying. No, that's what I'm
are
saying.
Covered. So
His
he-
hands-
could have just
If you
made
look
it-
at the freeze frames, his hands match the mask.
Why did they
So
just
either it's
CG
matching
the
gloves,
fucking bear and the pig? Why
That's
did they?
what I said.
Why
Why don't
didn't
you
they
just
make
make them
them
animals?
because
I
they
don't
made this
know.
movie in 10 days. Who has time for CG?
I'm glad
Come
you
on,
told
boy.
me that
Come
because
on.
that was the nail in your own coffin.
Furries have costumes. Go get a furry.
Yeah, furry cousins
I am-
with Rachel. You are
I
so
am literally
right.
that
Go to a
Michael
furry
Jackson
convention
popcorn
and just
right
pick
now.
two people out. Pay $100.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, if you're making a movie, if you have the budget for a
Good
movie,
night.
you have the budget for a couple of fursuits.
It was 10 days. They don't have a
Two
fucking
fursuits.
budget.
You need two. That's like $400.
And why does
Could've
Piglet
just
have
Don't ask
tusks?
me
CG'd,
why
you
I
know
know how
what?
much.
Why
a
does
fursuit
Piglet
is.
have
Because-
tusks the size of the moon
That's
on
what I'm
his
saying.
fucking
Why
face?
is
Why is
Piglet
Piglet
suddenly
now
like a
bored?
fucking wild boar?
And also,
you could have
Piglet
literally
was
just made.
timid and afraid of everything. Where? Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. It's a shit movie, and It's just
Like I
awful,
said,
and they've
if
just
you-
ruined
You
Winnie
could
the
have just
Pooh.
literally made like an actual bear and an actual like warthog or like feral pig, because those animals are fucking terrifying. Period.
on their own.
I would
They're
have
scary
watched
on their
that.
own.
Like I don't. Also, I don't. I'm glad you said it was done in 10 days, because I mean, I don't know if it was just me, but like the fucking line delivery this Christopher Robin is giving is god fucking awful.
Here's my index card with my lines.
Yeah, he's doing the Godfather thing where he's got the guy wearing the fucking.
Do you know what it sounds like, Jeremy? It sounds like it was written in Chinese and then translated by Google into English,
Oh,
and that became the
fuck.
script.
It probably was.
I would believe
Well,
that.
That's what I'm saying. Do they talk?
Yeah,
Are
that's
they
also- I just
actually
have questions,
people?
too,
Like,
yeah.
how does? Like I said, this was 10 days. Obviously, you didn't think about anything past further. Hey, we're gonna make Winnie the Pooh chop somebody's fucking head off, sell it. But you don't think of any of the questions that would literally come right next to the line.
And I'm not hearing a problem. I'm
Let's
sold.
be honest.
I'll be there
I'm glad
first
you
day.
mentioned. I'm glad you mentioned Sharknado. I'm like, I love dumb shit.
Yeah.
That is inherently
Yes.
a dumb fucking thing.
Rachel, they
Yes.
probably
It's
spent
not
more
the same.
time trying to find the perfect bikini for the girl in the hot tub than they did the costume for Winnie the Pooh.
By the way,
Because
I'm
that
fine with the
bikini,
gratuitous, like
Spot
that's
on.
whatever. That's a
Spot
staple.
on.
Obligatory horror movie nudity. I get it.
That's a
Yes.
staple.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
I like
Yes.
horror movies.
I'm fine with it too, but they
Yes.
should have put more
That's
effort
fine.
into the fucking costumes for the main character,
I'm
like
just
Rachel
saying,
said.
You
Now-
can buy a really nice bikini on Shein for like $10, and you could put some of that budget into a fursuit.
Thank you, Rachel.
Where?
Would make more
So hold on.
sense.
Where
Well,
does this? No.
But
Where
you
does
act
this
like
fit
they
in?
made this movie with a budget.
They had to have some money to do what they did.
It's somebody's house. It's somebody's cameras. I don't know.
I don't know.
Where does
They
this
all
fit
have
in?
British accents, all those girls that go to the house, so it makes
Well,
me think it
Christopher
was
Robin
filmed in the
was
Christopher
UK.
Robin was British.
He
I
was
mean,
English.
that's
Yeah.
that.
It was
that's
filmed in the
fits.
UK.
That's fits.
Yeah.
yeah, it's a British film. Yeah, it's from over
I mean,
there.
and Winnie the Pooh was a
That means,
British.
sadly, folks, they may get it first before us if it's released there
That's
before
fine.
America.
They can fucking have it.
They still haven't
Right.
given a
I
release
can't
date
wait.
yet, they still haven't given a release date yet. I would imagine it's got to be sometime in October.
Are they going to release it in theaters, or is this going to be on a streaming service? That's my other
Also,
question.
what's
I don't know that.
I
They
smell
haven't released
straight
any
to
of that information
DVD
yet.
and like
Right,
some type of like
straight to
South by Southwest kind of showing.
I've heard
Furry
everything from
convention
straight
shows, horror
to.
conventions.
Yeah.
I've heard everything from like a limited theatrical release, like 1,000 theaters or something, to straight to like Screenbox or Shudder. So
Shudder.
it could go either
That
way
would
at
make
this point.
sense.
My only thought was
So-
Shudder. I'm like,
Yeah,
they
that
would take
make
it. I'm
sense.
sure,
They would
but
take it.
Oh, it would be perfect on Shudder. I love Shudder.
yeah,
But that's
what
my
I'm saying. I
favorite
agree with
streaming
that.
app. I would love it. That's
I
what
feel like with the buzz this movie's gotten, though, you almost have to try to go theatrical.
You,
Buzz.
Right.
Jeez.
yeah.
I wasn't going for the pun, but if you got that,
You're welcome. I got you.
Have it. But look, I feel like with the buzz this movie's getting, you almost have to go take a chance to go theatrical and try to make a few bucks. I mean, this movie could have been made for more than 10 or 15 grand.
No.
It's like, so. I mean,
I just hope there's merch
if
that
you
I
went
can
into
buy,
some
so I
theater-
have a Blood and Honey shirt. That's what I want.
So if you put it in theaters, made a couple $1 million out of it, that's a win. That's a huge win. I mean, put it in theaters for a couple weeks. Just see what you get. You don't have to put it in theaters nationwide. Put it in New York. Put it in LA. That right there could make you $1 million or $2, and that right there is all you need for this movie to be
Well,
wildly successful. And then
somebody
put it out
just-
on one of the streamers or DVD or whatever.
Somebody just commented,
Right.
make a horror film about SpongeBob. I said that too. I'm like, why don't we just make the fucking Sesame Street
Oh, that'd be
gang
great.
gang a bunch of murderers?
I would like this.
Who the fuck cares anymore?
I'm all right with that.
But what about all the
Sesame
people that grew up
Street-
on Sesame Street that don't want to see
I
Kermit
know,
hacking
but-
somebody in half?
Remember
That's
earlier-
exactly what we're saying.
But do you remember earlier how you were talking about Star Wars and making all this spin-off stuff was ruining the specialness of it from you growing up with it? That's how this feels, but worse.
I hope the fucking God there's no sequel
feels
to this.
worse,
This is not just
because
a-
this is
Oh.
personally, I mean, my personal feelings fully out there. This is my favorite, most beloved children's universe. This has been my favorite since I was a very small child and has continued to be my favorite, something I still watch now. And there's a lot of other stuff with Winnie the Pooh that people don't think about or don't know. Multiple more movies, multiple more books. There were TV shows, at least 4. And there were, then the one with Ian McGregor, that movie, Christopher Robin, which was really good.
You're welcome.
I mean, and like I've seen horror stuff with children's, on YouTube.
Right.
I mean, people have made horror stuff with Winnie the Pooh on YouTube, and I'm not bothered by that because it's not marketing to the larger audience. necessarily. At least back when I had seen those things before YouTube was like a huge thing that everybody used.
Yeah, we grew up with that. That's a little different.
It's a little different now than it was then. But I don't know. I was also thinking, Cora, you just said in the chat the Disney princess horror. That is something I would like to
where's
see.
the fucking line? Powerpuff Girls horror? Care Bears horror?
They've made plenty of Care Bears horror.
Marvel Zombies. I mean, that's what it seemed
really?
like.
I didn't know it
I
existed.
think that there's a tasteful way to take beloved childhood characters and put them into this scene, and I do not think they did it correctly with this.
Well, this is not made for a tasteful audience.
No,
this is made for people like me who want blood, guts, and gore and go as trashy as humanly possible. This is what this is made for.
I want to know who this actually was the target audience for. I'm like, well, because you have something like Winnie the Pooh that is wholesome and something that a lot of kids and even, like you said, a lot of adults enjoy. I'm like, 10 years from now, I don't imagine there's anyone who doesn't know who Winnie the Pooh is. Yeah. But like, say
this
10 years from now, some kid doesn't know.
Some kids.
Yeah, like some kid doesn't know who the hell it is.
Exposure.
Because my thought is, God forbid I have children and I want to share my beloved childhood memories.
And now you have to explain this.
And then I have to be like, do not watch this one. This is not
I have to explain to some twats being a movie in 10 days.
With it. Don't watch it. Like, you know, that's what I'm going to now have to do. I mean, anyway, if I have children, I even have to. However,
I want to try to break this trailer down critically for a minute, just on the surface of it all. Before I do, I do want to thank Joe Compton, who did send in a $20 donation just now. He said he has to go back to work. The Winnie the Pooh movie is either going to be awesome, or it's going to flop big time. I agree. I don't see it going any other way. Y'all have a good show. This is generating a lot more talk. I figured it would. That's why I was like, we need to move this back kind of where the heavier topics are.
I like chaos, and I'm a very chaotic person. But my chaotic switch for this went straight to, I hope the movie fucking fails. I hope it fails flat on its fucking face.
I will.
I was not.
I'll probably end up watching it, but I'm probably not going to pay to watch it.
Yeah. That's fair.
This is not an admission of any crime I may or may not commit.
You know what, Rachel? For Christmas, I might just find signed copies from the director and main actors on eBay and send them to everybody in the show.
I kind of want one.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
It would be cool.
That was sarcasm.
It would
10 days was a script like that fucking big? Do they talk? I don't fucking know.
I still want to know if they talk.
But look, let's break this down critically for a second. Just looking at the trailer. For once, it was actually quite cinematic.
It was.
It was done well. Yes, I agree.
The sound was good on it. It was a little scary-ish.
And you can say what you will about not wanting to defile something that you love from your childhood. I think we all don't want those things defiled, even if it's just a simple remake. I mean, I talk about this shit all the time. Stuff that I used to watch when I was a kid growing up in the early and mid '80s, coming back now and kind of being screwed with. I get it. But I mean, just looking at it, it looks like a good quality. There's a lot of horror quality here. I mean, one of the things I noticed, and I wish I would have gotten some screen grabs in this trailer when I was thinking about it, is you start with Christopher Robin and who we assume is his fiance or significant other, returning to the 100 Acre Woods. You see the sign that says 100 Acre Woods, and it's clear that he's been gone for a while. And he doesn't really know what's happened. So my question is, how long has he gone? Another thing you see in this trailer is you see that it looks like a really crudely made tombstone that says Eeyore R.I.P. And I'm like, so Eeyore's dead from the jump? Because I feel like that whole scene that we see with Christopher Robin and his woman in the beginning of the trailer probably happens really early in the movie to kind of set up where Winnie the Pooh and Piglet are.
I used to come here during my childhood. Yeah, he's like, shut up to her.
So I'm guessing that happens pretty early in the movie. So it's interesting to the idea that you're going to jump right into this feral nature that has kind of taken them over, and then the rest of it is just kind of like basic early mid '80s slasher stuff. It's not. I mean, it doesn't try to build it doesn't try to take one of these timeless stories from the old legends of like Winnie the Pooh stuff of whatever. It doesn't take one of those existing stories and rearrange it to make it a horror thing. It's just a new gross horror thing. So from that, I'm like, it looks good. I mean, the kills look fun. The masks remind me a lot of, and I know Jeremy's seen it. I'm pretty sure that Tex has seen it too. It reminds me of the mask from. How am I drawing a blank this movie? The clowns, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I was thinking
visually, there is a style to those that is a lot like that is a lot
Jesus.
like the other stuff. But
Jesus,
yeah,
Sith Negan, thank you so much for that money.
I know I was trying to get there.
God,
Got out ahead of me. But
sorry, it just jumped out at me. My bad.
but yeah, it's I went to Stream Elements. But yeah, it's look, just from a horror perspective, it's fun. Look, I get it. Some people don't want their childhood defiled. I totally understand your guys' point of view on this. I don't disagree with any of it. Yeah. Maybe it's because it's not something I grew up with, or maybe because I'm just getting shallow in my old age that I don't really care that something that I wasn't all that attached to in my childhood.
That's
I'm
fair.
just like, whatever, let's go ahead and have some fun with it. But I mean, you know, I just want to enjoy it for what it is. And somebody mentioned in the chat earlier about who was it? Let me pull it up real quick. Folsom, actually, who's watching us on Twitch right now, says praying for a SpongeBob movie that reenacts the ear-cutting scene from Reservoir Dogs. It's like, I mean, yeah, why not? It's like
there's already Squidward's suicide, that whole creepypasta thing.
Yeah, if you're gonna spoof something in the horror genre, why not do it? I mean, look, you guys sat here and watched that. What is it? The Banana Splits movie.
Now, I mentioned that is a little different. That's not something that's as well known, like I said, as Winnie the Pooh. It was a real thing, and then they did kind of make it that Five Nights at Freddy's thing, because we're still trying to make that damn
Someone
movie.
also brought up its similarities to Willy's Wonderland.
It's very similar to Willy's Wonderland, yes.
Fair, I guess.
I don't know.
I mean, I think
something kind of obscure, which makes it kind of horrifying in its own right, because it wasn't that big.
Yeah,
Well, it comes down to something that was actually said earlier in the show. I don't know. I forget who brought it up, but if you don't like it, don't watch. So if you, if you're really attached to what Winnie the Pooh actually is, like you pulled up the books and the Funko Pop, just avoid this at all costs. It's not okay. This movie is going to be big right now, and then it's going to be buried, and it's going to be like a Halloween 3 cult status, and only horror fans are the ones that watch it.
Yeah.
This movie was made for $10 in 10 days, probably shot on an iPhone or something. Let's be real. This is not going to win any awards, but it's going to be. It's just like actually something Cora said earlier. It's going to be at all the horror cons and all of the fan fests and everything else. It's going to get put on Tubi probably in a month, and you'll never think about it again. So if you're showing your kid Winnie the Pooh, all that Disney stuff will come up first. Will this come up? Sure. But just like you said, there's creepypastas for SpongeBob or this or that or other thing.
There's got to be another internet rule, because if there's the Rule 34, where is the internet rule that if anything has been made, it's going to be also made into something terrifying or scary?
Well, that's probably part of it.
That's got it. I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
Right. And I mean, these people were lucky enough to jump first on the copyright claim.
They were waiting. I swear they were just waiting.
They were waiting. It had to
somebody was going to do it.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Somebody was going to do it, and these people were lucky enough to be first. If it wasn't this, it was going to be some other Winnie the Pooh property that they had $50 to invest into. And it's just slasher films are cheap, they're easy to make, and they always make money. That's why you have 14 Friday the 13th or whatever. There's a method to the madness here.
Yeah,
I agree with Kratos. It'll be a Razzie Award, probably.
I mean, I'm a horror fan. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not a horror fan. I just
of course.
I just prefer my.
It's like, yes, you love Winnie the Pooh, but you love horror.
I prefer my horror to be separated from my beloved childhood memories.
Oh my god, I need to make it into that meme with fucking.
I have a very conflicting personality. We don't need to get into it.
I need to make it that meme with Mike Tyson. Now kiss.
Right.
That's what they did.
Yeah. This is not in a way where I wanted them to meet. I mean, they can meet in other ways.
That's a weird
I think
crossover,
that
I
remember the drawings of the zombie Disney princesses in the 2010s that were popular on Tumblr and stuff like that. DeviantArt. Those were cool. I liked those. And then they make the punk edits of the Disney princesses. I mean,
it's like a what if.
Kind of cool. Yeah, it's almost like what if. But I feel like this is just.
But that was my question: of where the fuck does this fit in? Is this
how fast this happened? Just rubs me the wrong way too. I don't know. Again, personal feelings. The movie might be,
of course,
kind of good. I mean, I'll probably watch it because.
Well, I've always said
eat at me.
Cinematically, there's looking good, and then there's actually it being good. You're like,
mean,
oh my
I
god, that was
did
great.
like that walk into the 100-acre wood in the beginning of that trailer. I did. The cinematic value of it.
And by the way, those signs, it's very
like-
low budget. Those signs were so shitty.
But that does
but it
inherently
looks
make it
cool.
creepy.
It
I mean,
Yeah.
looks
Should
When you're
have
talking,
a plastic,
Well,
like
trust me,
gold lettering sign. I don't know.
I mean, you
when
could
you're
have made
talking
like a
about B-rate
deteriorated
horror,
like.
though, you don't want high production value. It kind of takes away from
I was
the
gonna
aesthetic.
take it from two people who work in a haunt. You don't have to have something really extravagant to still scare the shit out of somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, a piece of wood with
Subtlety.
like you take some like dark red paint and write RIP on it, and it looks creepy.
Like, I mean, we literally have, I mean, it's a dumb prop, but like we have along the outbound bridge, we have these little things that pop up and they have like sheets over their head. You can tell it's actually just a bucket and a stick on like a piston. And it comes up out of the
It's still gonna jump.
You still jump because you're not expecting it, but I'm like, it's a bucket with no head. It's weird. But it still scares the shit out of people, I used a weed whacker. I ran chainsaws. They gave me a weed whacker, and I thought that was the dumbest thing.
The
People
of
were
an
so
engine.
fucking scared of it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I was
The
like,
rev of the engine.
I know, but like, people were actually jumping away.
Did
from
you
my
not see
house
what
to get
Jason
to
did with the weed whacker? He put a daggum circular saw blade on the end of on the end of a weed eater and killed people with it. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
I've got an action figure of it sitting right over there. So yeah,
That's awesome.
you know.
I guess I just thought it was really dumb. I was like, "This isn't gonna work." And then, I mean,
Then it
I ate
works.
my own words, and I still have a scar on top of my thumb from that damn thing. I cut my thumb open on it. And it's still got a scar, but
I kind
Poor
of want to put a
Eeyore.
circular saw blade on a weed whacker now, just to see what kind of fun I can have with it.
I was like,
Rachel, you
will
need to
that
get him
work?
some Winnie the Pooh Band-Aids.
I currently have
I do
Winnie the
think-
Pooh Band-Aids.
don't.
I do think
touch
I have the ending to the movie though. I think I know how the movie's going to end, and I'm going to go ahead and say it now. So then we'll see if I'm right whenever this comes out. It's going to come down to Pooh versus Christopher Robin. Pooh's chasing him. He's got the axe, the whole thing. Pooh's going to get stuck in some sort of tree. May not be a honey tree, but he will get stuck in a tree, and Christopher Robin's going to stick that axe right in his head or cut his head off or do something fun with it. And Pooh's headless, bloody body is going to be laying there, maybe even into a honey pot. That would be fitting too. But something along those lines will happen at the end of this film. If I know horror like I do, something similar is going to happen, and I'm there for it. So.
Maybe Pooh will get attacked by a whole swarm of bees and go into
I was going to
anaphylactic
say,
shock
with
and
my
die.
knowledge of Winnie the Pooh, it's going to be bees.
That'd be a
It's
cool
gonna
death,
be
though.
bees.
You got to have the bees in
That
there.
would be
Someone's gonna.
I want to
Someone's
see
gonna
him get
infiltrate some
arrested.
bees.
I mean, that brings, when you say arrested, it also again brings you to what are they? Were they
Thank you.
children? Were they adults?
I don't know. Like I said,
Are
you
they
could have literally
men in
made them.
masks? Are they...
You could have made them the stuffed animals. You could have made them the actual animals that they are. I'm like,
The stuffed animals would have been objectively either really more horrifying or really way more
it'd be like
stupid.
Ted trying to murder
Yeah.
somebody.
Ted, yeah.
It'd be Ted. Yeah.
Depending on how you did it, the stuffed
Some
animals
Chucky
might
shit.
have worked.
Rude fucking dog.
I don't know.
I don't know.
This is
Well,
going
yeah.
to be a fun movie.
This
is
I'll
gonna be
watch
one
it
that-
because I
You
want
know what?
to
This
see
is
how
gonna
bad it
be-
is. I
You
don't
need to
want to
have-
watch it because I'm excited for it.
I told him if we watch it, I need to be inebriated first because I'm not.
I'll stay sober for you, but man, I
You know
don't
what he needs to get, Rachel? He needs to get you some cute Winnie the Pooh present and leave it wrapped in a present, put on the table in front of you. So right after you watch
Actually-
that shitty movie, you get a cool, awesome, positive Winnie the Pooh
Yeah.
experience right
Actually-
afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of already blew my whole wad on that for your birthday last year. I got
Yeah.
you the Winnie the
Lego-
Pooh like Lego set of his house, like the really big
Yeah,
like.
the tree, and it's got all the.
It's got everybody
it's
in it,
very,
actually.
It's very cute.
Yeah.
I've got it sitting.
It's
in my
back there
table
somewhere.
back there.
I don't want to move it. I don't want to break it.
Yeah.
And, fucking have
And
to
you're not
fix it.
allowed, Jeremy, when they come out with the masks, to get a mask of it and scare the fuck out of her with it.
You'll get hit.
I wouldn't wear.
You get hit.
I have more. Look, I have like 5 or 6 masks sitting in the back seat of my car.
You wouldn't get hit for any of those. If you were wearing
No,
normal
I'm
ones
saying
for
like
the
if I
Pooh,
did,
would
I
get
have
hit.
more options to choose from. I have better. You know,
If you wanted to scare me,
I have
you
the
could,
ones
but
the one I
wouldn't hit
made.
you.
The
I'm,
fucking.
I'm specifying. If it's the mask from that movie,
I
you
would not fucking bring myself to wear that damn thing.
I do want to say real quick thanks to Sith Negan who dropped one of his usual bombs on us again. Dropped a $200
Oh,
bomb on us.
you.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much, Sith.
Sith.
Thanks, Sith, for supporting the channel at that level. We very much appreciate that. It's been a while since Sith has been around. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I've been seeing him pop in and out of Drew's chat a lot more lately, too. So good to see you. Let me
What's up,
go over.
Sith?
there's plenty of comments to say in this. Like Seth Negan did
That
say,
didn't push up the algorithm. I mean,
said if the movie is a hit, I say a sequel could involve the heffalumps and the woozles.
That would work. That would have been. I would have accepted.
You know
that
what?
as a horror movie over.
That's
the
the thing.
Pooh
Yeah, you said this is all his imagination.
This
so
is his
what's
imagination.
Those were not real
allegedly.
either. Like
the
for sure,
Heffalumps
for
and
sure.
Woozles. So in the original Winnie the Pooh
What was
movie,
the Heffalump
I could
movie?
not watch the Heffalumps and Woozles scene because it scared me so bad. I was a very sensitive child. I'll just get that out of the way now. Very sensitive child. But that scene scared me. If you would have done this with the Heffalumps and Woozles, I would have been all for it because those were meant to be scary.
What if they do with Teletubbies? That'd be awesome. Everybody hates them.
Teletubbies are scary.
They're just
But nobody likes them.
I think no, but I think that's fuck, what's their goddamn the Banana Splits. It's just like there's something inherently just kind of creepy about them, and it's kind of off. It's just weird. That makes sense.
There's a quality about that in a lot of children's stuff, though.
It is. That's what like you and me watched that right on the Banana Splits thing. They said like the old show. It's like there's something inherently creepy about it. That's unintentional, but it's there
because they're
it's
so
like,
big with those tiny arms and those things on the top of their heads. Like what the fuck?
I mean, you've seen those pictures of like old Chuck E. Cheese shit from the 80s, like when I was a kid.
I was about to bring
How
that up.
terrifying those things looked. It's like I didn't notice it when I was 7. I thought it was funny. Yeah, I didn't notice it when I was 7 because I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, I hadn't been in a Chuck E. Cheese and like
it's very much Five Nights at Freddy's-esque. I've got my whole little collection back there. They are all pop figures, and Cora, they're all out of their boxes.
Thank you, Rachel. I love you.
They were mystery boxes, so I had to take them out to know what they were.
Like I said, I hadn't been in a Chuck E. Cheese since I was probably in my fucking single digits, but I went to one like last year because of a birthday party for a kid of said age. And I'm just like watching that animatronic of fucking Chucky over there. I'm like, if he picks up one of those kids, I'm out of this.
He's like, I'm out.
It did move and it was doing shit. I was like, I don't like that. That's not okay. I turned my chair too. I was like,
yeah, I'm keeping my eye on you.
Yeah. He starts looking at me and talking.
And it does make you wonder what's next. Let's see. MK Kratos says, I'd like to see how Hollywood would get if Dora the Explorer went down the horror movie path as a serial killer.
That reminds me of this.
She
TikToker
fucking executes Sliper right there in the middle of the road.
There's this girl on TikTok who does Hora the Explorer, and that's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah,
that could have
got
gone
like Dora the Explorer, and she's dressed really skimpy, and she's like, "Can you help me find my meth head mom?" or stuff like that. Like, just it's very funny.
You find the drug mule?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Swapper's definitely getting it with a chainsaw on the neck or something like that. You know what I mean?
Well, Boots is gonna curb stomp his ass.
Dora's Mexican, so she's doing the Colombian necktie.
Yeah.
Boots.
But let's see, MK Kratos.
Wait till they do the sequel when they bring in her cousin Diego. Holy shit. She gives him a call and it's
Diego,
on.
Go.
He said, imagine Dora the Explorer cast as a serial killer in the Winnie the Pooh blood and guts type of movie. Hollywood would have a lot of backlash from parents.
Yeah,
well, I mean, they're probably getting a significant amount of backlash just from this movie. But remember, this isn't a Hollywood movie. No, this is an independent thing done over in Europe. Yeah. So it's so look, 100%. They're like Paramount. Whoever would never have touched this movie. Oh. If they would have gone and pitched this movie to them, they'd have been like,
"They're idiots." I mean,
nope, not going to happen. We're not going to catch that kind of nonsense. That's not going to happen.
I think I mentioned this to you. I'm like, I think we are getting to that weird kind of threshold where it's like, when you start, people start having internet. It's like, okay, everybody's kind of getting internet now. Then it's like, oh, smartphones start becoming a thing now. Everyone has a smartphone. And just about anybody now could make a series, make a movie or something like that. I mentioned, like, we've said on this show before, $1 million is really not a whole lot in the grand scope of things. They made Saw for $1 million, and I'm like, holy shit! It blew you the fuck away,
including salary for the actors.
I don't know. It may have been, but you know what?
The guy who plays Wesley in The Princess Bride.
Well,
yeah, that's true. He's a big name. Yeah,
I met him too.
We did. Yeah, you did meet him. Well, I was there. I know what his lunch order was.
Yes.
Yeah,
we do.
Like claim to fame.
Yeah,
I know what Wesley ordered for lunch.
We walked right in when he ordered lunch. We're like, yes.
He doesn't eat dairy.
No, because he said whatever it was. He said no cheese and citrus vinaigrette.
Yeah, it was salad.
That's what he told the guy behind him. I was like, interesting. All right. But just about anybody could do something now, and it's like I said, there are some cosplayers and there are some people that do stuff on their own that are almost as good as like people they pay
Or better.
that they pay to do it in Hollywood. So it's getting to where like it's kind of it's cool to where just about anybody could do something and make it into something big.
It's cool.
I will say this, Jeremy.
Terrifying.
This movie is going to set the bar low enough in horror quality, I'm sure, that whatever horror movie, short movie, film you make with Frank is going to be movie theater quality.
To be fair, the word quality and horror, I don't think always go hand in hand.
No,
they don't have to. But
yeah, that's one of the best things about horror is that some of the best horrors have been low quality.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be good, but like.
Yeah, that comment about Paranormal Activity being 150K.
That's true.
I mean,
Paranormal Activity was made cheap in the director's house for like barely any money, and that's one of the best cinematic experiences I've ever had in my life.
I'm sure it's just
I
like
love that film.
Blair Witch Project. You can go out and fuck out with your friends for like a week with a camera and do
Matter of fact, Cora brought that up in the chat too. So
yeah.
Well,
hey,
that's the thing with
when did the Blair Witch come out? It was 1999.
Hey, I just graduated high school. I was 18.
Oh man, I just started.
Slasher horror is. I mean, it's brought you a lot of the bigger stars that are in Hollywood now. That's how they got their way into it because of small little. I mean,
Jennifer Aniston.
The people that. I mean, Johnny Depp, Kevin Bacon. I mean, so many other people. But see, here's the thing. This movie. It's getting popular because of like we've all said here. They're the first people to do it. This will end up on Tubi within a month, and if you want proof that, go on the horror section of Tubi right now, and just look at all of the stuff that's in there. This is not going to be. This is not going to be Gone with the Wind or the Shawshank Redemption.
No, I don't want it to.
You know, I mean, even when they made the first Friday the 13th or even Halloween in '74, John Carpenter had no idea what he was making. He was making a slasher movie with a villain with a blank pale face and you know nothing about him. And it blew up into what it
Captain
is.
Kirk.
So
it was Captain Kirk.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. They had no money, so they wouldn't bought that mask, cut the hair, and painted the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, this is, you know, when you're judging, you know, and I'm not saying y'all, but anybody in general, when you're judging this film, you have to look at it within the parameters of what it is. It's an independent film. It was made in 10 days, probably, maybe even a first-time filmmaker. I don't know anything about this guy. I've tried to look, and I don't know much about him. But it's going to be a fun movie you can watch with your friends. It causes conversations like this. This movie would be the perfect contender to do a live stream on, where if you're live on YouTube with your friends and you're watching it in the background with the sound off, that's going to be a hell of a time right there. That's what this movie is. And I can't wait for it.
I don't know.
Sith Negan says, let's see. The line is drawn with children. Why do you think Freddy Krueger prequel movie, The Springwood Slasher, before he was burned to death, has never and probably will never be made?
Well, you say the line is drawn with children. Like, what the fuck is this? Then?
It's on YouTube already. Actually, they did that. If you go back to the Freddy's Nightmares TV show, the first episode of that show was the backstory of Freddy, where they showed the court case and everything else. And there's a multitude of fan films on YouTube about, you know, Fred Krueger before he, you know, gets burned alive and whatever. So it's been done. I mean, this Winnie the Pooh thing could have been a fan film on YouTube, but they just put a little more money into it. You know what I mean? That's all that it is.
That's what I mean. So, now that's that threshold is what I was talking about. It's like, I think now people can get into doing something like that.
Threshold can be a great thing, and it can also be terrible. So I'm just kind of interested to see how this.
Well, the first good thing
Rachel,
is
what
again,
if there's
it
a
looks
sequel?
cinematically good. Oh,
that was the other thing I was wondering.
If Pooh rides in on a fucking heffalump, I'm gonna fucking lose my mind.
I would also prefer that.
He has like a war heffalump, like.
You know, they don't have to acknowledge Tigger, but they can just carry around like the head of a tiger. Tiger.
Oh, that'd be great.
That'd still be copyright. They'd eat them for breakfast.
I do want to cruise through. I do want to cruise through a couple more of these comments on this because there is one other topic I do want to talk about tonight.
Oh, is there?
Cora, what is it that Sith's talking about? Asking Tex about a mid-credit scene I would do in Halloween Ends.
I don't know.
I was scrolling back through the chat trying to find it.
I think he's asking about maybe what we would do. I don't know. Sith, I'm not sure exactly.
Tex, didn't you say you had like something that was what you'd want to see at an end credits, like after it's all done or something?
Oh.
Well, how I would end Halloween Ends is basically you have Michael and Laurie fighting it to the death. Allison is there with them because, you know, she's probably the biggest character besides Laurie in this new trilogy. And Laurie grabs Michael, you know, kind of holding him like full Nelson style. And she's yelling for Allison, shoot it now. Knowing she's going to kill her grandmother too. But she shoots him maybe 7 times because he shot him 6 times in the first one.
Shot him 6 times.
And Michael goes flailing out the window in Smith's Grove, by the way. He falls out the window. Laurie's laying on the floor, bleeding out, dying. She goes, checks her grandmother. She knows what's happening. And Laurie's asking Allison, is it dead? Is it dead? Because, you know, it's it, not him. And she looks down. She sees Michael. She turns back to look at Grandma and looks at Michael again, and he's gone. That's the way that you end that trilogy. You keep the shape. Now, what Halloween Ends is going to be, if the spoilers, well, first of all, I've heard there's 2 versions of the film. That's why it's going to Peacock and theaters. There's a lot of, and David Gordon Green, as of 2 days ago, said he's still making changes to the film. You know what I mean? So
that's pretty close to be still making changes.
Hang on.
I'm about to say it's awfully late to still be making changes to this film.
Hang on. Sith said he messaged me on Discord. Let me go look at Discord real quick.
Okay.
Let me see what he's talking about. Y'all do your thing real quick.
Oh, boy.
But
well, all I have to say is I'll watch it once. And
I know I'm gonna have to watch it for the show.
I'm gonna have to watch it because it's gonna drive me crazy knowing that it exists and I haven't seen it and I don't. I'm a huge critic of it going into it. Right. I'm a huge critic going into it, but as the horror fan in me, again, I have a conflicting personality problem here because the horror fan in me is like, okay, a cool slasher. And the loving of Winnie the Pooh in me is like, what did you do to my childhood? You stabbed it in the heart.
That was my last point. I'm like,
Rachel,
you know
what if they end it with Pooh and Piglet holding hands walking down a lane with their backs?
Oh, okay, here it is.
Holding Christopher Robin's head in his other hand, like fucking. That's what he's gonna be doing.
This is Sith's idea for a mid.
Amazing. I think we lost him.
Yeah, I think
it was too good for the internet. He can't handle it yet.
Sith was talking about a mid-credit scene or a post-credit scene.
I think mid-credit.
Because if this is supposed to be the end of this iteration of the Halloween franchise, why would you do a post-credit scene at all?
That's what I was saying. Like he says, like if we're gonna end this, let's just end it. Like
that's why a big part of me thinks that's the way this movie is gonna end. It's like Michael and Laurie are both gonna die. Yeah. I really feel like that her granddaughter's probably gonna get whacked at some point late in the second act, and that it's going to come down to Laurie and Michael, and Laurie is going to do something that kills them both because she's going to think to herself, you know what? It's all got to end. This entire family, everything has just got to go away, and that's kind of where it's going to be.
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I do want to send a shout out real quick to
Welcome back.
Lost in the chat. Where'd he go?
But anyway, okay. Basically, what his idea was, he was playing off of what I just told y'all, the idea that I had. But in how he kind of follows up with it is Michael like falls onto like a tractor trailer, like an 18-wheeler or something, whatever. He's heading out of Haddonfield, whatever, yada yada. He's gone. As far as everybody knows, Michael is dead. But then you see a sign that says like "Welcome to Camp Crystal Lake," something of the sort, basically setting up like a Michael versus Jason, kind of in the vein of Freddy versus Jason back in the early 2000s or whatever. Well, it's a good idea, and I like it, but rights-wise, I don't think it would work. That's my biggest concern.
Maybe,
I love the idea.
Yeah,
we already had Freddy versus Jason. I always thought, I don't know if it would really even work, but I was like,
well,
you see him driving into Newton, Texas. It's like, oh shit, Jason, he's gonna fight with Leatherface.
But Michael versus Jason makes more sense in a weird way. Hear me out.
Right.
Jason being
he can't die
child Michael kind of still being a child. They're
both manifestations of evil.
They're manifestations of evil as children. They have that similarity.
Jason's like a zombie at this fucking. I don't know what the hell.
I'm just saying. I'm saying. Go back to the basics. A child. I don't know. Whereas Freddy is a little later in life. Grown adult man.
Here's the thing, though.
I don't know.
It would work.
One of them's got a bigger knife than the other, so I don't know. That might not work. He's got more reach.
You only want the only reason why they did Freddy versus Jason when they did was because Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street were both dead brands. They had done everything they could with both of them, including taking Jason to freaking space. Okay, you have jumped the shark. There's nothing more you can do. But what's the one idea that you can still have? You can have them fight each other.
Up. Yeah. They also had that set up in Jason Goes to Hell. For no reason, they had that, like, you see his mask on the ground, you see Freddy's glove pop up, and he grabs it, and you hear him laugh.
They did that because New Line had acquired the rights to Jason, where, because New Line Cinema is the house that Freddy built. Let's not forget that. And when Paramount wanted nothing more to do with Friday the 13th, they were ashamed of it, even though they made millions off of it. So when New Line bought Jason, that's why they didn't call it Friday the 13th. It was, Jason Goes to Hell, this and that and the other thing, because they were differentiating the brand. And that's why Freddy's glove comes out and pulls the mask down. But I like the crossover ideas, but it's something you do when you're about to not use a property for a while, not when you're trying to revive all of it.
No, but then again, if you said we are ending this Halloween thing, maybe we could just have some fun with it. I don't know.
But if you saw in the creative room that I posted in there earlier, New Line Cinema's legit Instagram account is throwing out Jason Voorhees stuff. There's a reason they're doing this. Hell, Sean Cunningham, the producer of all this, on his Cameo, on the Cameo website, if you go look, it says upcoming Friday the 13th film. We're not far from a Friday the 13th. It's coming sooner than later, people. It may not be tomorrow, but it won't be long.
Let me get in here real quick. I do want to point out something. I do want to shout out real quick to the Lost River Drive-In. That's my buddy Nick. Go check him out as well. He talks. He's a horror guy too. So go check him out. I mean, he actually knows Night Watch Zone and some of these other people that I've dealt with. Knight's been on here with us a couple of times talking about stuff. So go check him out. He says Halloween Ends is locked at this point. It's in the can, and that
it's locked, but they can still make changes.
Is that the Green was really referencing music tweaks and other minor details. The finale is finalized, and it is absolutely not left open-ended.
I hope so.
He continues to say a lot of people are asking if it's going to be left ambiguous. It isn't, which is bound to piss some people off. There is finality.
Because that's a trope of,
which is what I want is finality. I think finality is the best way to end this film. Everybody dies at the end. I think that's really the best ending for this film, in my opinion. That's just for me.
But the thing is, when you have something you can't kill the boogeyman. That inherently makes it a problem. I know why. I think even Jamie Lee Curtis said it's going to piss you off. I'm like, I'm not going to be pissed if you die. I'm
Two words. Corey Cunningham. He's going to be I'm not going to spoil anything, but Corey Cunningham's going to be very important into this film. So pay attention to him. So you'll figure it out.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's a whole lot to be said about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. There's a whole lot to be said about everything upcoming. I haven't really had a chance to read up about the potential for another Friday the 13th. I know I've read headlines about it, but just the last couple of weeks I've just been busy. I haven't had a chance to really dig into it. I'm okay with it as long as new writers, whatever. Give me a fresh, modern story. Don't try to do too much with it. Don't make it PG. It's a murder film for Christ's sake. Make it rated R. Good deaths, enough story to make everything work together. Get some fine young actors. That's one of the best things about the horror genre. It's a great place for young actors to get a start. I mean, look at some of the biggest actors today. They all got their start in horror movies. I think it's I think it's a great place to start. But I don't know, you guys. There's been plenty to talk about for this trailer that we got for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. So go down and give us your thoughts. Frank? Go ahead.
The only way this movie could be worse is if Vin Diesel drives by with a car in one of the scenes.
Family.
We're all family here in the Neckwood.
God, I just this just bad.
Oh,
Just,
shit.
God, please, Vin, just be done. Let this be the end.
Sorry.
Let this be the
Listen.
end, for Christ's sake. Just let it be the end.
It could be how a career starts, but horror could also be how someone's career dies. That used to be the trope. If you were in a horror movie like in the 80s or 90s, it's like, yeah, you're not doing so hot. But
Now it's
Yeah.
cool, right?
now
Yeah.
it's whatever.
But go down the comments below. Let
Not
us
what
know
I
what
like,
you
though.
guys think. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Did you like the trailer? I actually look. The movie may suck absolute balls, but the trailer I thought was fire. I thought the trailer was awesome.
Yeah, I
Well,
wouldn't
you
base it
said
off of that.
you didn't like the Rob Zombie one, but you like this one, so that
That
says a
Monsters
lot.
trailer was awful, but I want the monsters to be good.
Yeah.
It's like they can. I've seen plenty of movies with shitty trailers. The movies themselves have been really good. I've seen plenty of great trailers to movies that just ended up being awful. I want the
Mhm.
monsters to be good, but God, the trailer didn't really do it for me. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, we still do have one more story to get to tonight. They got kind of run over by the whole Winnie the Pooh thing. I thought this story might end up being the lead tonight, but Winnie the Pooh kind of took that over. What the hell?
We'd
We're
still
here
be
now.
talking about it now if that was the case.
Poor Pooh.
So let's talk about it. Lady Cora, what's the next topic we're going into tonight?
Well, Matt Shakman, the veteran TV director who ushered Marvel Studios into the age of television, is in early talks to make the jump to MCU features with Fantastic Four. Sources tell The Hollywood Reporter. Shakman became a Marvel favorite with the Emmy-winning WandaVision, the first MCU series released for Disney+. Fantastic Four will kick off Phase 6 of Marvel storytelling with the film due out November 8th, 2024. Jeremy, what are your thoughts on Shakman leaving a fourth Star Trek film to potentially do Fantastic Four?
Huh?
Wait, they're making another Star Trek movie?
Wait, what about
Well,
that?
he
Matt-
backed out of directing it.
Oh.
He
Yeah.
left it.
Oh, I don't know why you said Star Trek. I'm like, we're not talking about what the fuck.
Well,
he
here's
okay.
he
part of
left
the
it, right?
story. Maybe I could have reworded that lead in a lot differently, but
I don't know why I
Matt-
was ready for you to say Fantastic Four, and I'm like, why was Star Trek there? What?
yeah, Matt Shakman was actually signed on to direct a fourth Star Trek film with Chris
Interesting.
Pine and Zach Quinto and that
Oh,
whole
we're still
group
doing that
from the
Okay.
JJ. Apparently, yeah, from the JJ Abrams
Okay.
Star Trek universe. He has apparently left that because of scheduling conflicts with an unidentified Marvel film is what the official wording was. But I mean, it almost immediately after that news came out, came the news that he was apparently in heavy talks with Kevin Feige about taking over the reins of Fantastic Four. So that's probably if it's anything else in Marvel, that's probably the thing. So Jeremy, go ahead.
Well, I don't. That graphic too you had up, I'm like, I don't know if that's just a fan art or just something or rather, but I'm like, that guy looks an awful lot like John Krasinski. So I think it's no accident that happened. I'm sure we might get something more with that, or if maybe this is now the 10th time we've tried to fucking do the Fantastic Four. Maybe we'll actually do it correctly this time, or I don't know. If it's somebody who, like I said, we've all, I think, collectively agreed that WandaVision was absolutely amazing. So if this is the guy behind it, I mean, I have no doubts that this could actually be really, really well done. And within the context of, I mean, if we are going with, like I said, the John Krasinski that got spaghetti-o'd by fucking Wanda, ironically enough, that is funny. He did, man. You can't put him out there as the smartest man in the damn fucking world, and then he just gets taken out like a punk. I get it. You're supposed to be like, oh my God, Wanda's scary. I'm like, yeah, she's scary because she put a fucking shield through Captain Carter's like midsection. Like, yeah, that's horrifying. But I don't know. You could have been like, hey, Blue Bolt over here knows where your kids are. Tell him. There's your problem solved. But no, you have to, I don't know, undermine that completely. But if we do this right for once, I guess technically this is third time's the charm, right? So
the third iteration in 20 years. If
yeah, which is
who
not,
just said,
not
I think it was
good.
Sith Negan just said, geez, a third reboot of Fantastic Four in 20 years.
Man.
I think I'll pass.
Well, with the multiverse,
I know, but I mean, I was kind of getting iffy on the fact that we had like fucking 3 Spider-Man in the last 20 years as well. Like, I even say that with Batman. Shit. Well, actually, we only had like what, 3 in this last. Yeah, we did have 3. Yeah, son of a bitch. We need to stop doing that. We only had like 2 Supermen now, at least. Brandon Routh and The Witcher.
The one thing I want from a Fantastic Four is a really good Doctor Doom. He's one of the best comic villains of all time. I mean, the dude was always fun, and I would love give him a Marvel series or whatever. That's what I really want out of Fantastic Four. And I don't so much care about the team, whatever. It is what it is. But, there's a lot of good stuff that can be done with it, though. And obviously, Marvel bought all the Fox properties, so they're going to use them eventually. We know X-Men are coming sooner than later with the whole Miss Marvel thing, right? So it's only a matter of time before they don't have Iron Man and Captain America anymore. They got to feature somebody. And I don't think Wonder Man's going to do the job. So maybe it's the Fantastic Four, you know what I mean?
They'd be good leaders. Didn't somebody, or at least I saw it, somebody tried to screenshot something from Moon Knight, actually. They thought one of the boxes in the cargo van that he was in or something like that, it almost looked like it said Von Doom or something, and they're like, where did he end up? A big castle.
Right.
He has a castle. I'm like,
no. He's in space with Nick Fury, and they're just ignoring everybody.
Yeah.
Whatever. Well, I mean, the one thing. Well, I mean, I didn't watch any more of She-Hulk, but I'm like, wait, are we just not gonna? Hulk's going into space. What? Hello, where are you going, dude?
Yeah. What is that?
I'm willing to let shit go, but I'm like, you did not just do that for the shock value, and you're not gonna explain to me how you just made a call in space. I'm okay with the sciencey bullshit, but you're not gonna tell me you got a long distance call in the middle of the Andromeda Galaxy or whatever the fuck you're doing. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, have y'all heard the theories? I've heard some of this, so maybe I don't understand it completely, but I think it's just fan theories, but I could be wrong. That the Fantastic Four will be like, it happened in like the 60s or something, and they got caught in that quantum, whatever the hell it is in Marvel, and they've just been floating
Fantastic
around.
Four from a different planet in the multiverse.
Well, no, they're from this planet, but like they figured out the whole quantum time travel thing, and they got stuck in it, and they've been exploring other worlds, and then they come back into modern times so they can interact with everybody else.
Voyager, just gonna say it. A lot of
I mean, it sounds like a cool idea. You know what I mean?
Think about it. When you want to put another one of those big brain people in this universe, like you had in Tony Stark and you have in Bruce Banner still. I mean, yeah, you could throw Mr. Fantastic in there as one of them. That
right?
That's true.
That's what I'm saying. It's because I know they're doing another Ant-Man, right?
I'll say Quantumania.
Quantumania comes out in the spring, I think.
So what better way than, oh, hey, look, it's the Fantastic Four. They're just flying around over there in the corner. You'll see them in a year and a half.
True.
We're just dropping hints over here. I mean, that's something Marvel would do. But, there's ways of doing it. I don't know. I like the idea of kind of like an old style, like go back and watch the old, futuristic movies from the 60s, right? But done with a Fantastic Four to make it different. Don't just make another Fantastic Four movie because then you just have another one. But do it differently. Give it its own, kind of genre almost. And you can play with it a little bit and then put them in the regular one.
I like it.
It does kind of have like a weird 60s feel. Like, oh yeah, you go to space, you have these weird powers. It's like, that sounds like a very 60s,
well, that's what I'm saying. Have the first film, it starts out there and, we're stuck in the quantum zone or the phantom zone. Wait, that's DC. Never mind. I'm crossing genres over here. But either way,
you're crossing streams, Tex.
You are crossing streams.
Everything's gonna fucking explode, and all the ghosts are gonna get out.
Do something that play with the science a little bit. Get a little, science fiction-y with it. And I think an old school angle would be kind of cool. You know what I mean? I don't know, something of the sort.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to look up something that who was talking about it. This I missed it. Yeah, MK Kratos is saying that Ezra Miller was arrested again.
He stole some booze
Jesus.
out of the house. He stole some booze out of somebody's house.
Oh no, okay, we talked about that already. Yeah, we talked about that already. Yeah, I think we discussed that a couple weeks ago.
I thought you meant he got again. I was like, dude, you just said you were going to be better.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to make sure it wasn't something, because I know that the alcohol thing actually happened back in like April. but they were investigating. He didn't get charged with it until fairly recently, so that's what he was talking about. So he actually didn't get it. So he was arrested for it, but it's actually something he did back in the spring.
Yes.
So hopefully,
on September 26th.
Yeah, hopefully Ezra. Hopefully he's killing the shit out.
Yeah, he has to appear.
I almost made that a story tonight, but I was like, I don't know, there's a whole lot going on. It's like, and
he's still a groomer.
Oh, that happened in May.
Yeah,
he's still a groomer, and I'm still not paying to see that crappy movie. So, no, thank you.
I won't need a text.
I kind of want.
That's coming from the DC fan. Listen to him.
I kind of want to see it. I kind of want. Look,
will you watch Aquaman with Amber Heard in it? Because I won't.
Aquaman.
I will find the Batfleck scenes from both of those movies on YouTube after it's over. I'm not giving them my money. So
yeah,
Amen.
I said earlier about finding movies and in no way admitting to finding them in a
right
way.
Exactly. I feel the exact same way about this as I do the Jeepers Creepers franchise. The fact that it was created by a kid diddler, I'm not gonna partake in.
Is he involved with the new Jeepers Creepers film?
That's
what I wanted
initially he was, but once all of this came out, they were like, oh no, he has nothing to do with it, and then they kind of buried it for like a year, hoping people would forget. But the internet never forgets.
No, people don't forget. If you're a pedophile, nobody will forget.
Well, it's like for you. So there was a shooting in Bend, Oregon yesterday at a Safeway, and the shooter was stopped by a 66-year-old store employee who stabbed him, who got shot in the process and died. Everybody was like, "This guy's a hero. This guy's a hero." Well, guess what came out today? The guy who saved the day was a kid diddler 30 years ago.
Oh,
holy crap!
Nah, I mean,
like what a turnaround! You go from being a hero to the villain.
I hadn't heard that. I had heard about the shooting, but I hadn't heard anything else about it today.
Yeah.
So he died a hero, but lived long enough to still be a villain.
To see himself become a villain. Yeah. The Dark Knight, once again, the Dark Knight comes through. Christopher Nolan was a genius.
He's the hero they needed, but not the one they deserve, not the one they needed right then, because he's dead now.
Right.
Oof.
On a quick programming note for all those of you who are watching right now, thanks to the 13 of you, 12 on YouTube and apparently one on Twitch. Later on tonight, probably here in about an hour and a half, I'll be going live again with Connor from the Horny Goat to break down episode 3 of She-Hulk. Decent enough episode, not as good as the last episode, but decent enough. Wong finally showed up, thank God. That was the highlight of the episode. Was the Wong.
That's what I keep saying is I don't want these other characters that I know are awesome to fucking carry and save.
They even addressed it. They even addressed that stuff in this episode.
Just because being meta doesn't fucking mean. Oh my God!
I know.
Does Wong get told to stop mansplaining to her at some point in time? Because I fully expect that.
But Wong's a whiner. He likes to tell people what to do and is always angry. That's what he
is. Supreme. He can tell people.
What to do. He can do that. But so come back later on, probably about 11:30 my time, 11:30 Eastern. We're in the Eastern. Yeah, I think
I'll get the cliff notes once this show's over. I don't fucking care anymore. You'd lost me.
But so come check us out as we'll do that. And that seems like a pretty good place to start wrapping things up. And I'll go to Lady Cora first. Lady Cora, where can the folks at home find you on the internet?
Nowhere. Here, and that's it. I'm a ghost.
You can find her in the chat and some other stuff every now and again. Oh, you're not going to be on for Podcast Bedlam Sunday, are you?
No.
Okay.
I don't even know what that is.
It's Drew trying to make a YouTube version of the Royal Rumble.
I know what it is.
It's fun, but
nobody knows.
I want Gina to win. For the record, I want Gina to win Podcast Bedlam.
If I have to lose Podcast Bedlam to anybody, I hope it's Gina. I can handle Gina. I'd be like, all right,
yep,
that's okay.
Gina's gonna win.
And how about you, the shape from the Lone Star State, my man Tex? Where can the folks at home find you on the internet?
Not only am I the shape from the Lone Star State, but I'm a former Podcast Bedlam champion as well. And I plan on retaining that title because I was screwed out of it last time. So I'm coming for all you, Frank. I'm coming for you too, dude. But either way, you can get me on Twitter at @SlasherVision. It's on the screen right there. I put it up there for y'all. Over on Sundays when Frank is busy, I'll fill in for him on Derailed and here when horror shit happens. So that's about it.
And to the power couple of the Harsh Truth, we go over to Grim Tuesday at 10
No, don't forget Buttercup. It's a trio.
And Buttercup, yes. and their hairy little child Buttercup,
Yes.
who
Who was
couldn't
like
be
a
any
split.
less interested in the shit that we've been talking about all night.
Right.
What do you guys got going on over on your respective channels right now?
Well, we just
Well, ladies
finished.
first. I mean, it's usually just my stupid ass talking.
Well,
Go
we
ahead.
just finished. We 100%ed Lego Star Wars. If you
Yay!
hopped in and watched, we greatly appreciate you.
Even though I know you didn't, but okay.
I know
I did.
Some people did.
Okay,
and
I wasn't really paying
appreciate the
attention.
ones who did.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
The eye roll
Are
with
you liking
love.
Twitch, Rachel?
Huh?
Are you liking twitching?
I am. I have actually.
Well, I don't think she likes when
started-
she twitches, but you know.
Oh boy, Eeyore.
Oh, come on.
So I have started streaming on Twitch. I'm streaming the new Saints Row game, Saints Row 5,
It's awesome.
at 10 Septem. And then you can find me also on Twitter by the same handle. I did stream last Wednesday. I didn't stream yesterday because I've, for one, been sick. And also I got CPR certified again.
Yeah, I did too.
Woo!
So, but you can find me there. It'll probably usually be on Wednesday evenings. I'll be doing that.
Yeah.
That's
I'll
great.
have to get all her stuff to put into the description too. I
Yeah.
didn't have her Twitter thing set up because she kind of surprised me being on today.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
it's a happy surprise. I'm very happy to have her
Yes,
around
it's
always.
always better with Rachel and
At least-
Buttercup.
At least
Eeyore's enough, but Eeyore's enough, you know. But it's like cake without frosting, and then when she and Buttercup are here, it's like it's a complete cake.
I don't even want to do my fucking outro now.
You're a great fluffy vanilla cake.
Can I at least be like one of those little like chocolate vanilla swirls, like meet in the middle a little bit? Like
You're way too white. To be
Marble
a
cake is
chocolate.
what
All
you're
right.
thinking of.
Right, we're a good old French vanilla latte with milk foam on top.
I ain't a
There
basic
we
white
go.
bitch. I don't. You already got a pumpkin spice latte like already, so I don't want to hear it. Anyway.
Well, hang on, wait. There is one thing that I do want to bring up. If y'all don't follow Spirit Halloween on Twitter, today they released pictures of Mountain Dew Halloween costumes. I
They
shared
had
it on my
Cheetos
Twitter.
ones, too.
You'll
I
need to
saw-
go watch.
I saw. a new
Did you
thing
see
about-
that?
I saw
Yeah.
something about a Mountain Dew and Spirit Halloween. Yeah,
Mhm.
so
They have.
I saved it
It's
to
a
look
green. It's the green bottle costume that goes over the head, and there's like a mesh part where you can see out of, or there's the red one. There's four of them in total.
I saw
But
the
anyways.
black one. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the black one is the voodoo one for this year. So
Yeah.
go to Spirit Halloween and buy a Mountain Dew costume because I want one as well. So send one to me as well.
we're not
I can
sponsored,
use
but yes, go do that.
one. Yeah, not sponsored Spirit Halloween.
I
but
wish.
I'm willing to be a whore. I'm willing to be a whore for Spirit Halloween.
Same.
So send me stuff.
We've
Same.
already been a couple times.
Oh,
I've
we've
been-
already.
Yeah,
I
I've
think
been
the
multiple
day they
times
opened.
already.
I was there. They opened on my birthday, and it was my birthday present to me to go to Spirit Halloween.
Nice.
Nice.
So
They
I
still
was
had
very
like
happy.
they still had boxes like in the aisles. I still putting stuff away. I was like,
yeah,
come
we
on,
were there
come on,
like
let's go.
almost opening day, basically.
I
Don't
was
even
there.
unpack this shit. Just put it in my trunk.
Right.
Yeah.
I was the annoying customer with the website open, saying, "Hey, do you have this and do you have
Right.
that?" And they're like, "Sir, we just opened." And like,
I'm
I
aware.
was that guy.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
You're a
anyway.
It is
fangirl
what-
for Spirit Halloween.
I'm a whore for Halloween, and you
No,
can
you're a
clip it, Drew,
fangirl.
because I know you're going to. I know what Drew's going to do, but it's okay. So
Jeremy, is there anything else you want to say since you got kind of run over by all this?
I don't think I said anything yet, to be honest. I got attacked by
Sorry
you
about
fuckers
that.
calling me a
Eeyore.
fucking white cake. Oh my god, I have not pulled out my persona yet. You don't even want to know what yours like. So like, yeah, like what she was saying. Now we can annoy you 3 times a week because I'm on Twitch still as well. My name's the same across everything. It's Grim Tuesday 23. So yeah, I'm on Twitch. What I'm doing now is, like I said, we finished and 100%ed Lego Star Wars, which is awesome. So tomorrow, finally, The Last of Us Part 1 comes out. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. I might do something a little different. Like I might still stream it because I might still need something to do on Tuesdays. But what I might do is also record it and then maybe like chop it down to like maybe some little episodes or something and put that on YouTube. So
Mhm.
like, I want to just hang out and have the full experience, but I'll try to check out the, I don't say boring bits. It's a great game. Trust me. If you've never seen it, come check it out. The story, I mean, it's a very story-driven game, and it's absolutely amazing. And there's a reason why I have bought it every time it's come out for that reason. So, yeah, I'll try to make a little more comprehensive thing on YouTube with it.
Do you guys stream on separate Twitch channels?
We do.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why we do different days. Like I said, I do Tuesday, she does Wednesday. So then that brings us to Thursday. I'm here as well on Thursday. So I know my segues are awesome. Yeah, I still got some, like I said, still been talks with Brooding Gamer. We're still trying to get his big project off the ground. Actually, you and I had a fucking...
Yeah, we both have some parts.
Well,
I'm so excited for you guys. I have some news. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I bought my first piece of Jurassic Park merch today.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Sorry for trampling over you again.
No, it's fine.
Shut up.
It's fine. I punch back. So I already got to get. Trust me, I already got to get into the devil mode for the Haunted Cave. I'm just gonna tell you to shut up. It's my house right now. It's my time to talk. I need some big staff. I need to have the talking stick so I can.
You have the talking Winnie the Pooh book.
All right.
I'll mute.
It's fine. I need some talking stick for the Haunted Cave. So I wish it was the old days. I could actually probably smack somebody with it and get away with it.
You know, you could get one of those plastic kids' toy microphones that when you talk into it, it echoes. Just the way it's shaped inside.
We do have mics, but we are getting voice changers this year, so that might be a little bit more fun to play with.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I'm like, I already inflict my voice a little bit, but I don't know.
What do you want your voice to sound like, though?
I don't know. Like, we're gonna play around with it. I'm sure. I'm like, maybe make
you should do Valley Girl.
No.
Oh, Jesus.
Welcome to hell, sinners.
Cora,
oh my God, I'm totally gonna kill you now.
Oh my God, welcome to hell.
See,
like, really? I'm so glad you're here.
See, that's the fun part is when I saw people that were very clearly gay, I was like, well, I know why you're here. I literally said to their face, like, I know why you're here.
What?
They fucking loved it. Like, I stopped in mid-speech because it was two guys first. And I kind of did my speech. I was like, I know why you guys are here. We don't judge. You can stay. I don't give a shit. But you can go back up there and be as gay as you want. Have fun. And the next two people that came in were two girls, and I didn't get to the first line. I said, "Welcome to hell." Oh fuck! I'm like, you're here for the same reason they are, aren't you? I just stopped. I'm like, what the fuck ever. There's 6 paths.
How many nights a week will you be performing there?
Shit.
Well, it's every weekend starting September 16th.
Mid-September through all the way through October.
So like a couple nights a week then?
It's like 14.
Friday and Saturday.
14 nights.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I thought it was 16.
No, I think it's 14 this time.
I don't know. This will be my first time being there the whole time. So.
Have you guys finalized your outfits and everything and your makeup and stuff?
Yeah, I'm messing around.
Yes, I'm still working.
I'm messing around with some masks. I might put some more stuff on my vest. Actually, I might actually put I want to put like the Iron Maiden Number of the Beast like on the back as like a back patch because that'd be
cool.
Right, that'd be sweet. I want to make one with Iron Maiden because I was born at 2 minutes to midnight, so that's my joke.
Yeah,
nice.
I love that.
Funny joke. That's a good joke. I know.
I was born at 11:58. I post the song every fucking year now at 11:58. Here's the song. Rock out for like 6 minutes. Have fun. I might do one as Eddie Munson just because he had the Iron Maiden. This is music. Yeah.
I think you said.
Oh, no. Last thing was you and I even just spitballed a fucking idea. Like I said, anybody could make a horror thing. I was like, wait a minute. We could make one of those like vlog series where it just goes sideways and there's like demonic shit going on and whatever.
Very, very analog horror.
Yeah, because I'm like, there's not very many.
You need to cast Buttercup and like make her lips move and make it look like she's possessed, and use like your voice changer.
It wouldn't be that hard.
It wouldn't be hard to make her look like she's possessed.
Because if you just hold food in front of her and you just keep pissing her off, her lip will start curling up and she'll get mad.
Yeah.
I'm just going to throw this out there for fun and see what comes of it. But we do my live stream idea with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, all of us on at the same time. Because that would be comedy gold. So just mull it over.
Depends on how
depends. Once we find out how it's released, we'll see how this goes. I'm just going to put it out into the ether. If it kicks it out, fine. But you can crap on it like Cora and those other two power couples.
Hey, Jeremy likes it. It's only she and I that don't like it.
Well, everybody knows if Mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So he's going to have to hate it too.
Well, you are more in it than I am, but I'm just like, I don't know.
Hey, I'm up for anything. I I am a Joe Bob Briggs guy. Okay, I'm a Monster Vision junkie.
Is it bad that I've never heard that name before, Tex?
How do you not know who Joe Bob Briggs is? That man is
I've never heard that name in my life.
Horror.
Never heard in
Good
my life.
Lord.
Not
People
fucking
need
with
to
you.
educate yourself. But either way, just throwing it out there.
Says Clarence Williams III said the best, the end of Tales from the Hood. Welcome to hell, motherfucker.
Can you say motherfucker in the haunted house, Jeremy?
Yeah, if no one else really hears me say it. Yeah.
I want to work in the haunted house.
I know they tell me like
tell you not to.
I mean, there's the weird little cutoff is 10 o'clock. Usually it's like, yeah, the kids or maybe younger kids might be around the first part of the night. You still see kids like later, obviously, but about 10 o'clock is when we can kind of ramp it up a little bit. And we start getting a little more weird with people because it will be the weird people that come in.
So it goes from PG to NC-17
Not
or
quite
R.
that far. It's a little R-rated. Like I will start like. I mean, I do a pissed off demo. I'm like pacing back and forth. I'm like, someone opens their mouth, I tell them to shut the fuck up. Like, just listen to me. I'm like, that's why you're in hell, because you don't fucking listen. And I'll throw them. I'll just like bash them in the middle of the fucking speech, and everyone just loses their fucking mind. They start laughing and shit.
That's funny.
And if anybody, I swear, I mean, maybe only Frank probably knows what I'm talking about. But if anybody comes in there with a haunted hoochie sweatshirt, I will rip their ass apart.
What does that mean?
He laughs. He knows. It's another big like haunt here that like it's like it acts like it's the greatest
competitor.
Thing. It acts like it's the greatest thing, but it's the biggest piece of shit.
Do you know what
ever.
That sounds like? It sounds like a woman's vagina that doesn't get much attention.
Well, probably, yeah. And we're called the Haunted Cave, so whatever. It
probably doesn't. That's why they're wearing something that says haunted hoochie.
I know. I'm like, I literally did you miss the fucking merch booth when you came in? It was right there. Take that shit off. Like, you know. I don't know.
We got to wrap this up now, guys. I got to get ready for the live stream here in about an hour. As far as me, you can find me here every Thursday with this not ready for prime time band of misfits going on, where all the stuff going on in entertainment, television, movies, and all that good stuff. You can also find me on Sundays, most Sundays anyway, over on the Derailed News and Podcast, going over all the current events going on in the world outside of the world of entertainment, and also some sports stuff as well. Now the football season's here. Our fantasy draft for the YouTube League is tomorrow. So there's going to be a lot of shit talking going on for the next 18 or 19 weeks about football. I certainly hope so.
No, this guy's going to win.
And then, of course, Podcast Bedlam is going to be Sunday. So fantasy draft
Gina's
tomorrow, and then Podcast Bedlam
one.
on Sunday. So
once again, this guy, Cora, wrong.
And again, don't forget, I'll be back here in about an hour with Connor from the Horny Goat to go over episode 3 of She-Hulk. So thank you guys very much for coming and hanging out with us. Thank you to all of my great co-hosts. Thank you for 10 Septum for showing up. A little more class. Usually Cora's the only one that's bringing any class to this place, but thank God that you showed up today and helped kind of balance the scales a little bit.
Is it class and a whole lot of ass because I'm just kind of a dickhead all the time?
Yes.
No, you're an Eeyore. Today you're Eeyore.
No, whatever.
Yeah, you're the eye candy, Jeremy. She's the class. You're the eye candy.
It's the hair, Jeremy. By the way, Jeremy, your hair is looking nice today. I forgot to say that.
I agree.
And we will see you guys later. Adios.
Bye, everybody. Don't worry about us.